What's up, Dougie? Chris, who's Florida bound. A Twisted Mopar Garage. Nothing, Dougie. How do you like that? How do you like that shirt? It looks like it fits you nice. See, there's nothing going on tonight. There's no new posted videos, even though I did one. So I thought, well, let's. If anybody wants to come on in, I put the link up in there. I sent one to Wilburn too. So if anybody wants to shoot the shit, shop's closed. No transmission questions. It's very comfy, perfect fit. It doesn't shrink in the wash. So hopefully, did you wash it before you put it on? I mean, I put my shirts on right out of the package. Elaine likes to wash everything before she tries it on.
Yep.
So I actually kind of went. I did some R&R today, and I actually did pretty good for an old man with a broken hip and a broken knee. I did okay. Have a question, Wes? I hope it's not a transmission question. You got a drag racing question, or plumbing, or roofing, or electrical? All right, let me turn this so I can see this a little bit better. Sorry. Is anybody still here? Let's turn on that music. J-Bo, did you get your shirt? You're watching Spanguli? It's his birthday today, right? Is it Spanguli's birthday? Yeah, something to do with his birthday today, or I actually was watching this old skit of Spanguli, and unless you guys are from Chicago, you'll never know who it is. Um, he was in the Berwyn, in the Berwyn, some kind of a parade or something. Well, you got it today. I thought you would, J-Bo. That's cool. You and Lars won the event. I don't know what this demo 2 is, so I'm not going to do that. I just go to this show stage. Sorry about that. I guess demo 2 is if you want to show pictures. You know how you cannot be a Svengoolie fan and if you have Chicagoland TV, everybody is. You get do you get Chicago TV in Wisconsin? You got a T-shirt, Rapid? Twisted Mopar Garage. Where are you from again? Spangoolie's pretty cool. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing up and down on here. I got to get this right so I can watch. I can read through my bifocal. With this nice weather that we had 2 days ago, did anybody take their hot rod out at all? I took Mr. Haney out to the post office. I took my daughter Maddie to drop off some mail for customers with small parts that fits in the little boxes, and so we took it there. And then I actually drove it to White's Pit Stop at the same time. And I don't know if I can actually add a picture. Let me try this. Duplicate. No. I'm not even going to try it because I'll end up getting kicked out of here or something. So, Springfield, Jeff is in Springfield right now. He's on Route 66. But I didn't think I guess it does go through Springfield, Illinois, and then to Missouri and whatnot. I think I'll turn it up just a little bit. See how that is. Oh, okay. He's 50 miles from you. So you guys get Chicago TV. Well, now it's all digital. Did you guys get it before with just the antenna? You should. I don't know how close you guys are, or how far up in the Wisconsin you are. But Jeff at Two Hacks was just in Wisconsin. Drove the New Yorker, and Blake drove the Nacho. Not the Nacho. What's some weird weather we're having, ain't we? Well, I see someone who's backstage.
What's happening?
Nothing. Let me turn down my volume. Does that
turn down your radio, listener? Turn down your radio.
Is it too loud?
No, perfect.
Are you sure?
Yes, I was just messing around.
It's just supposed to be.
We gotta get the gas price.
What?
The gas price, 53 cents. You'll see.
Okay.
53 cents. Oh, no, you don't see it.
Hang on.
It don't matter.
Oh, sorry, Dougie.
It's fine.
All right. I'm still learning how to do. I'm trying to do different things.
Working outside of your comfort zone.
Out of my comfort zone?
Man, yeah.
No, I don't have a comfort zone. I'm comfortable everywhere.
You're comfortable everywhere.
Well,
Nice.
yeah. You know, are you sporting a t-shirt right now? Oh, look at that. All right, do a turnaround, but leave the camera up.
Got dollars. I got sexy music.
Yeah, no dancing, Dougie. Oh yeah, look at that, huh? That does look good.
Ask for Jack.
Yeah, right. I think the old man be proud with those.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I think. It's just. I think it would be nice just to be remembered.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, my lady seen it today, and she goes, "What is it?" It makes me think of a wedding because of the bow tie. And I said, "It's the towers." And oh, okay. She goes, shrugged her shoulders. Why they put it on a T-shirt and walked away?
You didn't explain it to her?
I didn't have time.
Jeez.
I tried.
Yeah.
It's later. I told her it's a company logo.
Well, it's the city logo.
Right.
And my dad and my mother thought it would be a good idea to use that as a as their, not as their logo, but as a what do they call that, honey?
Mascot.
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 There you go. As a mascot.
It's a mascot.
And you know, I had a kid, and I think I remember part of this. One of the girls who lives here in town went to my grade school, and she goes, "Hey, do you remember that year you were the Smiley Tower for Halloween?" And I have no pictures of this, and it clicked. I'm like, I do. I remember holding up the big thing. I couldn't see through it. She goes, "You made it in the yearbook that year." And I begged this girl, begged her. I told her I would give her and her husband tickets to go have some steak at the steakhouse in Cedar Lake.
Right.
So I can have a picture of it, just a copy of a copy or whatever.
Right.
You know? And, well, geez, I haven't got it yet.
You should be able to go to the archives of the high school and find your yearbook.
Grade school.
Grade school. Oh,
yeah, you're talking 1973 or 74.
No, you have to be absolutely lucky to have a classmate with that yearbook then.
Yeah. Even though I've been lucky, I thought by getting the city sticker for the Power Wagon,
Yep.
to me that was hitting a lotto. I thought that'll never ever happen again.
Right.
And then I got one for the Coronet. So
that is so damn cool. And it's red to match your car-ish.
Yeah, it's kind of orange-ish or whatever.
Orange, yeah.
I actually found a guy in Chicago that remakes Chicago city stickers.
Oh, okay.
And so if I send him a digital picture of it, which I won't have a digital picture of it unless I put it on a window because it's in plastic.
I think I would run copies and keep it the original.
Yeah. What I was going to do was change the year to 1983, the year I graduated high school, because I know I know a lot of kids that I still went to high school with are still in the area.
Right.
And I bet they would want one to either put on their fridge or whatever. And if it was a particular year, which of course 83 is the year we graduated,
right?
I think that'd be cool. So
my youngest uncle graduated in 83.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, Dougie.
Trust me, I know.
A really long time ago.
I was a little kid.
Is it kind of overcast or hazy out by you in Michigan?
Earlier today, it was hazy. You could hardly see the sun through the haze. And then it started to spit and sputter raining. And now she's actually twisted up pretty good. I'm getting a pretty good pelt of rain happening.
Oh, it's raining over there?
Yeah, it's raining. It's raining at a pretty good clip right now.
Okay. Because we seem like there's like a haze, like smoke from a couple states away.
Yep.
You know. So.
Now a good washer like this, now I feel better about taking my prized car out or whatever, or my motorcycle.
You took your motorcycle out today?
No, I didn't, but because it's inoperable right now because it needs a battery. But normally, if the roads get washed enough, if we get enough rain and the salt's off the road, I'll ride. But there's people, they don't care if the weather's good, they ride, salt or none. I don't want that on my motorcycle.
I thought you didn't have salt in Michigan. I thought it was just
What, the beet juice? They use the beet juice. They use the beet juice in the northern counties.
Okay.
In the, like, here upwards, they use beet juice. And down where I'm at, they use chloride and salt together.
Okay. Because when I was up there, I always remember it being sand.
Yeah, you'll get sand. Sand, salt.
But they mix it now.
Yep, sand and salt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I remember when I was younger, going up to the UP, it was strictly sand, if I remember correctly. Yep. You know.
Because nobody had the budget for the salt. It takes a lot of salt a season.
Well, I thought they did that because they wanted to keep Michigan clean. No?
I think that's why the northern counties use the beet juice, is because it doesn't rot your car and it's naturally made, and it's not as corrosive. It's acidic a little bit, but it's not corrosive like the salt and the chloride.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And my uncle says it's got more grip. He goes, I can run way different on the beet juice roads than I can the salt and chloride roads.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you can tell the difference when you've made the transition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. And when you say beet juice, are you talking about beets that you eat
Yep.
at Thanksgiving?
Yep, regular old beets. Yep, squeeze them, grow them, squeeze them, make them into juice, and spray that stuff on the road.
Really?
Yep. Beet juice.
I never knew that.
Yep. And then beets are a big thing here in Michigan anyway, especially over in the Thumb. We're known for sugar beets. There's Pioneer Sugar in Bay City, and they're huge. And when it's sugar beet season over in the Thumb, you'll see the big old gravel trains, gravel trains running, and they'll put top kits on them with boards that'll extend them another 3, 4, 5 feet so they can carry as many sugar beets as they can to the mill, to Pioneer.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we would buy for the most of the year until Pioneer Sugar couldn't supply us anymore because their supply runs out. My old shop would buy from Pioneer Sugar until they supply us. Then we go until next season.
Yeah.
Back to Pioneer Sugar. Yep, clear white pure sugar from beets.
No kidding.
No kidding.
I was gonna say we got the Dapper Don in here now,
I know.
but
Mr. Gilbert,
there
good
he
evening.
is.
Howdy.
What's up, John boy?
I don't know. You sent me the link.
I thought you want to come in and shoot the shit with your butt.
Whose music is that?
Is it loud?
Yeah, it's loud. Whose is that?
Doug, you told me it's not loud.
I think it's very.
I'm not here like a dog.
Back.
I can hear your neighbor's music.
All right, let me turn it
I
down.
don't have any tunes rolling.
Give me 1 second. I'm teaching myself.
I thought Brian was bad for that. Man,
All right, how does that sound now?
better.
All right. You're not a music lover, though, are you, John?
It's not that. It's just loud. It's just like yelling
right.
over all that noise is like, why I can't. I don't
Well-
get. Brian would do that on his. He'd have his jazz going. That was twice as loud as him though.
Yeah. He just messaged me the other day and wanted to know if he can use a reverse manual valve body for towing. So I'm wondering,
Why not?
what is he up to? Is he getting a truck? That he's got a power wagon, doesn't he?
I mean, I don't know. It'd be good for towing.
I
be
told him not only do I tow with mine, I snowplow with it too.
He's probably the best for towing, really.
Right, nice crisp shift right now, just like you want. Yep, I second the notion.
You can bark them when you go in when you got a trailer on the back.
It's good for drifting in the snow too.
Yeah. So I was putting some flooring at the today in the shop, and look what I brought out.
A jigsaw?
Right
Yep.
on.
Aluminum case, Craftsman.
Or a very antique jigsaw.
Yeah. Actually, it's branded as a saber saw. Craftsman saber saw.
Like a saber tooth saw?
Wow. Yes. That
Did you
thing's a
get all
hammer.
your twigs and sticks and stuff picked up today, John? Or no, that was yesterday.
That
You
was
had
today
to
too.
do your roofing issues, huh?
No, it was today too. I'm doing that too. I was calculating up how much the roof's going to cost. I need to roof that garage.
Oof.
Yeah.
How many square is it?
It's 888 square feet, and it's going to run me right about $1,500 of materials.
That ain't bad.
You
That ain't
bad. Doing it yourself, I mean, it's not too bad. But
What's
When
the
you need a roof, you mean just shingles and tar paper.
well, shingles and paper. We'll have to. I figured one sheet of plywood because I got a little bit of damage. I don't know how much.
right on?
I have to put a little bit of caulk where I did my chimney for my heater in there, and it won't be too bad.
Do you like using white caulk or black caulk?
I don't know. That's a good question for Dougie.
Huh?
Dougie's used both, so let's.
Oh yeah.
No,
Which one do you like better, Dougie? That's all right. Blondie just
I refuse to answer the question. Loaded question.
Blondie
Black
just kicked
magic.
my computer off the chair. Can you hand me my my mousey?
I don't know where it's at.
Hello, BRG Chris, Pro Charge Mopars, Rapid Transit J, J-Bo,
Yes.
Craig, Bigfoot Mark, Justin Hill, all of you folks. Twisted Mopar Dennis, howdy.
Yeah, we're gonna leave Wilburn in charge of the chat. He can welcome everybody in here.
Well,
He's
I mean,
he's really good at that.
well.
He only does it once a week.
That's
every-
why you do
every
live is for them, because if we just wanted to hang out, we wouldn't even need to be live on YouTube. We could just
Right.
be live
I
on
get
video.
it.
So to
I
me,
gotcha.
it's no reason not to.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
It's there for a reason, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I've got the person that does Bluefield history videos has got two really cool ones coming out, and I have something to do with both of them. So one of them is going to come out this Tuesday, and it'll be an 8 p.m. premiere, and I'm going to go live an hour before that. And then there's another one that'll be a 10 p.m. premiere on Friday, so I'll be live 2 hours before that one. One of them is about the Rock, West Virginia Coca-Cola bottling plant, which Coke knows about that.
Yeah, you sent that to me today.
That's right. And then the other one will be on the remains of Princeton Dragway
Cool.
track. We explored that and drove it. And I said, hey, this is where they dug up the starting line. Here's the old concession stand, which is still there. You can't see the catwalk anymore, but I showed her where it was and the return road, and you can see the remains of it.
The concession stand is still there?
Yeah, it's a building with 3 windows. It's not used for that anymore. It's boarded over, but it's still there.
No, it's still open and amongst the overgrown, deserted.
Yeah.
Well, they've dug up the concrete starting line. It's gone. And now the pavement is now Ginger Lane in a trailer park. And I said, I bet there are people who don't have any idea why this one street, the trailer park, is so wide.
Yeah.
That's great.
Why? It is the strip. Yeah.
And was it an eighth or a quarter?
Everything's eighth around here. There's no room for a quarter anywhere around here.
Okay. Okay.
It was an eighth, and it didn't have a very generous shutdown either. Us drum brake guys were
Well, Grattan Raceway, north of me, it's a road course, but it originated as a drag strip. And how they laid it out for the flattest piece of property, they headed it out towards the shutdown was out by the road, and they finally decided, nah, we can't do this. So what are we going to do? They turned it into a road course. So now you come down the main straight across the grandstand is the original drag strip.
Cool.
And then at the end of that big straightaway, it's an off-camber turn.
Now, this is the dragway in 1994. Cope with his little Love Boat porthole windows. You can't see the whole thing, but this is the drag strip.
I don't know how to change it, John.
It's a setting there. Look
We're
up.
in spheres.
I can't see it on mine, but you can see it on yours. It'll have your layout down below. And it has like little boxes. But anyway, you can see there's the tower. There's the starting line. You notice where the road is, right? All that's been dug up. And then the stands, of course, are gone. So see where the end of the concrete is? That's where they dug it up to there. And then now people make a left-hand turn onto that, and that's now Ginger Lane, the street. And there's trailers everywhere. The auto auction building is still there. And that little white building beside the auto auction is the old concession stand. And then there used to be, and there's another picture that has it. Let's see here.
Isn't the race car that you bought, is that where that was at, John?
There's the catwalk. There was a catwalk on the top end. See it?
No shit.
And you could walk as a pedestrian bridge with expanded steel. No floor, just expanded steel floor. And you could walk over that with cars at full speed underneath. And some of the guys would say, man, I'd hate for somebody to drop a big drink through that floor. You think about it. It could go and you could have it on the top end and people not even know it. So little 880 me never really cared, but those guys running 5-second cars, they sure did.
Where did they have that catwalk at? Like at what feet?
Well, look. Well, see, there's the auto auction. So it's probably, let's see if I can. I would say it was right at half track because there's the.
Okay.
I'm telling you, the Love Boat theme needs to play. There's the stripe. There's the. I feel like Gavin McLeod. There's the stripe. There's the catwalk. There's the concrete.
You could be
exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. Anyway.
Boat.
And then you can see the return road, which is all just like freaking trailers and stuff. And you can still get to that turnoff. We took that turnoff.
And you went there as a spectator, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's where you knew about the dart sport.
That's
the black one, right? Or the black and red one?
Well, the yellow one, the yellow and green, and the black and red are all the same car.
That's what I thought.
It's 3 different paint jobs. This picture was taken at that track.
Oh, yeah.
And that guardrail further down is still there.
Is it really?
Sure is. Same guardrail. And it's still painted. It's still got the white paint on it from the day.
Why don't you go back there and make a video of that, man? That'd be awesome.
I'm just telling you. I just did on Thursday.
Nice.
It comes out on Tuesday. But not
told me when and told me how.
Oh, look at that. There's the sign. You can still see the Princeton Dragway sign up there. I would love to have that. I don't know where that is now. And the old Crondeck tree. I guess the bishops still have that somewhere. But there it is. And you notice what he did? He took a Chevron sign and he cut it in half to make it kind of license plate size because he worked for a Chevron gas station. He's the manager there. But that's the same car. Still has the wheels. Same wheels on it. Same 8 3/4.
But it's black and red now, right, John?
It is because here's another good one of the track. Get to see a little more of it.
Wow, look at that.
And I don't know what he's racing there. Something slow.
It looks like a nice track.
It was a nice track. On Memorial Day of '87, it opened, and they had 6,000 spectators at that little hole in the wall track in Princeton, West Virginia. I don't know who that is pushing it in the staging lanes, but that's it. Ran a tunnel ram 340, ran a best of 720.
Are these pictures that you took when you were a kid, or are these pictures that you found of the car?
These are ones Jack had, the guy who owned it. Since they rented U-Hauls, that Chevron dealership, he always just pulled it with. He grabbed a U-Haul when he went to the track.
Of course.
Because that's what he did. He rented those things out all the time. So he would always just take one that was in there and hitch you up and go. So that's why it's always on a U-Haul trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of the earliest pictures when he had it. He bought it from the Snap-on man that worked the rural retreat area. It still had mirrors on it and everything. Still had an interior. The car only has 70-some thousand miles on it now.
Really?
It's been a race car since '82.
That's kind of a cool piece of history.
There he is.
And is there any other? I'm sure there's plenty of other cars in the area that used to go there all the time.
You know, there's no video of it. There's the second paint job.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I really like that paint job. And the Scat Jack is a play on his name. It's Scat Pack, and his name was Jack. So he had Scat Jack. That's what he called it.
What's up, Blake?
But anyway, it's a good-looking car.
Cheers, Blake.
And then the last paint job, he sold it to a guy who drove for them named Clyde. And Clyde did the black and the red. It fell off the trailer. Clyde had the jankiest trailer you've ever seen, and the car fell off the trailer and bent the bumper, so he took it off and left it off. The car really, he was a nice guy, but he was not a good tuner. The car slowed down into the low 8s under his ownership. It was amazing. And his trailer, he took an old lift they took out of the Chevron station and scrapped it and made a trailer out of the lift. So he took a drive-on lift, stuck a couple of mobile home axles under it with no brakes, and he towed it with a half-ton Ford truck. I don't know how much tongue weight it had. I don't know how he ever stopped it. One day, I was driving through Green Valley, which is between Princeton and Bluefield, and I saw his trailer with a load of lumber in his truck pulled off on the side of the road. And I just thought he was stopped there for something. I waved and went on. I found out 2 days later that the reason he stopped is because he had those old mobile home Dayton hub axles they had? He had the lugs just shear off of one. and it was a 4-lane road in Green Valley, and the tire went down the middle lane, hooked a left, hit a curb, and jumped over a closed-in fence where overnight trucking was. And it was happening on the weekends. He had to go in there Monday and explain how a wheel off his trailer got inside their locked gate.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, so you know how they fixed it, of course. His buddy, old Charlie, who's take the worst body guy you've ever seen. That's Charlie. Charlie could fix anything with $20. Charlie welded up the lug seats on it where the lugs pulled through the seats where they'd impacted them until the hex had just wallowed them out. Charlie welded them all up and ground on them, and they put it right back.
And
now we're in suspense.
We are. We literally are. Good job, Wilbur.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what happened. There's buffer in there, but
now tell them the story. I know it, but tell them the story where you found the car.
So when I found the car, I made some phone calls. I found Jack. I knew he would be the one. Then he made some calls, and we found it. And the car was in a pretty sad state in Falls Mills, Virginia. This is how I found it in 2018. Obviously, it looked exactly right. I verified it. He said I could ID it as good as anybody. And sure enough, I saw all the little things told me it was definitely the same car, 100%.
That's the gas station, John, where...
Now, this is what a dude's house who bought it. It had changed hands several times. There was a guy who, tried to do some stuff with it. A goat jumped on the back window and broke it. No kidding.
I thought you told me you found it at a gas station, and that gas station's still there, but they closed up the
It
Service
was at the
bays.
gas station. I would lived up the hill from that gas station. That's where they kept it when they were racing it.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So where this car would live during the week when they would work on it is literally the convenience store of the hometown gas station.
Okay.
So they closed in the garage, made a convenience store out of it. It's totally unrecognizable now, but it is the same building under the same roof. That used to be a Gulf station back in the day, then a Chevron station.
Yeah.
And your house was just not too far
Right up
from
the
that?
hill. I could hear them firing that car up and driving it around all the time.
No kidding.
It was
That's
awesome.
kind of cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I could go out on my front porch and watch them loading it up on the trailer. They'd have the trailer behind the shop, and they would back the car out. It just sounded majestic, and they would try to make this real tight turn because Western Sizzling Steakhouse parking lot was against. They had a real tight turn. The car to spool in it, 513 gears. You'd hear them try to make that sharp turn to get on the trailer. Watch them load it up.
And that's when it was black and red?
No, it was yellow, and then it was black and green, and then Clyde had it when it was black and red.
Okay,
I
so
was
when you
offered-
saw it, it was yellow at the gas
It was
station.
all three. I saw it all three of those colors.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. See, Clyde worked at that gas station, so Jack painted it while he was there, and then Clyde did that terrible black and red paint job. And then
Yeah, I wonder
moved
why he
away.
didn't leave it that way. It looked good with that Scat Jack on there.
The car did nothing but depreciate under Clyde's ownership. Clyde took the glass out of it and put plexiglass in there, and he literally cut the dash in half with a hacksaw, a pop rivet, or just garbage. He just did trash work. It's such a shame because it was a beautiful, really nice 80,000-mile car.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he took probably 600-700 pounds out of it, and it went from running a 720 to 820. What does that tell you about the tuning that went on?
Oh.
He said, I don't need these big, heavy valve springs. They take more horsepower to turn.
Oh my goodness.
Had a Racer Brown cam in at John's Pistons. The engine builder is in his 80s, but he's still alive. He's up in Northern Virginia. I might give him a call just to ask him if he's got the recipe written down. Dickie McLaughlin.
I'm sure you gave it some thought. But when you get around to redoing the car, what paint scheme are you going to pick?
I'd like to do the black and teal.
Yeah.
I know you like red, but I'll tell you that black and teal was sharp.
The
No.
black steel is sharp.
Yeah. That was a good looking paint job. I would take that
Yes.
over the red any day.
Yeah, I think it looked really good.
And I think Scat Jack needs to come back.
Oh, it'll be on there somewhere. It'll definitely be on there somewhere.
And how did he goof on his name? What was the deal with
His
that?
name is Jack. His name is Jack Necessary.
Oh, okay.
And the car had Scat Pack on it just because it was,
Right.
an 80s racer.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
The
cool.
car had it had 340 TA heads on it too, which of course are the J heads to relocate push rod holes.
Yeah.
That's the kind of heads it had on it.
Did you buy it with the motor and trans or as a
No.
roller?
I wish. Clyde ruined the motor. He took the intake off and got into the top end, left the hood up, and it rained on everything, took it out and threw it away. Who knows what happened to the engine? I actually thought originally when I talked to Jack, he said, I don't have any idea where the car is, but I think I know exactly where the engine is. And then it turned out he found the car by asking around, and we can't find the engine.
Really?
I would gladly take the engine, whatever's left of the engine in any condition. I said
A 340? Yeah.
340.
Yeah.
So there's somebody that's got a sacred cow, something or other. It's probably long destroyed.
What
now.
transmission was in it?
Yeah, that's 727.
Oh, that's the best
Oh
part
no,
of
no.
it.
Well, you know what's going in it now.
A 727.
No, it was built on your bench in.
833 4-speed.
Oh no,
You're going to put number 500 in there?
Trans is already built.
518.
No, he's going to put a 904 in it.
No, you bunch of mows. It's got a 999 Yeah.
I don't know. I've been called a lot of things, but never been called a Mo.
Yeah, I've never been a Mo. Yeah. Schmo, I've been referred to as a schmo, but not a Mo.
Dougie, are you drinking beer or are you drinking pop?
Today, I'm drinking beer.
Okay. All right. So you're not going to get stupid drunk on us, right?
I can't promise that. No.
The car had a black block and heads, and they had the direct connection valve covers.
Ooh, always like the direct connection valve covers.
Yeah.
The aluminum ones.
No, these were stamped chrome direct connection valve covers.
Okay.
Had a little Moroso motor to run the water pump because electric water pumps were not really a thing then.
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be period correct, you know.
I like the idea.
Yeah. I want it to look like it just rolled off the trailer at Princeton Dragway for
Yeah.
racing in the 80s. Is what it
You
And
was.
know,
you got
the
to
first
haul
place
it up
I
an open deck trailer too with a tire rack on the front.
What?
Got to tow it to the track on an open deck trailer
Oh, yeah.
with the tire
Oh, no.
rack in front, and you got to paint the floor checker flag of the.
No. Open trailers are just awesome because you can see the cars. That was always one of my favorite things about going to the track. I would go early just so I could watch all the cars roll in on open trailers. It was like a great car show. And now everybody thinks they have to have an enclosed, and you miss out on all of that.
Right.
I hate that. I like the open trailers for that reason. It just looks
A
so
dream
great.
vehicle of mine. Remember the tow beasts that both the Snake and Mongoose had, the big Hot Wheels 4-door cab Dodges? Wouldn't it be just bad to the bone hauling your race car to the track in one of those?
Yeah, and you know how horrible it would be to have that. Horrible it would be to have that thing sitting around your house, taking up a football field all the time that you're not.
For a long time, I wouldn't care.
Right, that won't happen. If you had unlimited money in a warehouse and all that, that's fine. But I'd have nowhere to put that thing.
You've made a very valid point.
And look how high up in the air you have to get your car on one of those things all the time. And you're always worried about the height. I just give me a 18-foot open trailer so the car actually fits. Looks kind of cooler on a 16 because it's, you know, bumper to bumper, but.
I agree with the open trailer thing. The trailer I got now, and I only towed Haney with it. And I remember the first time, I think one of the first times I went down was the Mo Party and then the No Name Nationals. And you get the thumbs up from everybody, the truckers, the kids.
What's in it, yeah.
And I had an enclosed for years, and they just zip past you like it's nothing.
Right.
And not that I need the attention while I'm driving down the highway, but it kind of feels good when everybody's checking out what you got. Because I know
I dig. Hey, I dig your shit, man.
I would rather not have the attention, but I'll tell you what I would like to have. I would like to see young kids get inspired by seeing that.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing nothing and just play on the internet and not caring about cars anymore.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, be happy. My 16-year-old nephew is car crazy.
Because of you, Dougie?
Yep. Well, no, yeah, because of me. And he loves talking cars. He loves cars. And he's working. As a matter of fact, we're working on his Nova tomorrow. He's got a 76 four-door Nova.
Yeah. I remember when I switched from an open to an enclosed, and I thought I was, kind of moving up in the realm. And I got a diesel at the same time, so the diesel was definitely
Yeah. That's totally the paint scheme, Wilburn.
That's a good looking picture of that
yeah.
car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll take it.
Are those Pro Stars on there?
No, they're Kragers.
Are they?
Yeah.
I can't see in the little circles.
Obviously.
Oh yeah, they are Pro Stars.
That's a real 340 car also.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 74?
73.
73.
Well, 74, it wouldn't be a real 340 car.
Okay.
It's the last year of the 340.
73 was?
Mm-hmm.
That should have been the last year for the 904 too.
Well, it'd be harder to find a core, but I would do it.
Hey, you got a small block Chevy 904.
Mm-hmm, I do.
What are you going to do with that fucking thing?
I'm not going to answer that on here.
Why?
I ain't even told anybody on here.
Dude, I've been dragging that transmission around for I cannot tell you how many years. I just because it was a Chevy Bell housing
Yeah.
and a 904, and they
Yep.
would put them behind the Iron Duke motors in the mail trucks. It was a mail truck trans.
Ah, yes.
From 81 to 83. Yeah.
And Wilburn eyeballed that all the way from US 41. He saw that fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "What are you going to do with that?" I go, "I just got done dragging it from the old shop to the new shop." I'm like, "If you want it, there it is." Because it ain't worth nothing.
I gave you a valve body for it.
There, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
Traded you a valve body for it.
Yeah. That sounds like an even trade.
There's 6th Street Garage. Well, you'll do something with a valve body.
Exactly. I'll make a transbrake out of it.
Right.
The 6th Street Garage, remember how many splines are on that?
All right, hang on. 249.
There you go. You hate knowing that because it's pushed something useful out of your head.
Answering that question earned me this.
Was
Did you
that the
know
question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dakota won it when I asked it. I guess Cope asked it later and used it.
Yep, he did.
It's been used twice.
Actually, I got lucky because I answered right on the coattails of the Australian gentleman. I forget who actually.
Oh, yeah.
And then he said, "I'm in Australia. Shipping's going to be a pain. Just give it away."
He surrendered that T-shirt to you.
Yes.
You know, this has that, and it's like a quarter with a reeded edge.
Yes.
It is.
Why does the quarter
know how
have
many
the
reeds
edge,
are-
Mr. Wilburn?
I don't know how many reeds are on a quarter, though.
Say that again, Dougie.
Why does a quarter have a reeded edge and a dime have a reeded edge?
I thought it was so they would be distinguishable by feel.
No, well, I mean, yes, that is true, but the real reason why those coins have a reeded edge goes back to when they were silver and people were coin shaving. They were taking a pocket knife
Yeah.
and it's a
I've read
cloth, and they were shaving the coins.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were shaving the coins and then taking little bits of silver off of it. And then once they'd shaved the coin for so much, they would still turn that quarter in for 25 cents, even though now there's 22.5 cents worth of silver on it.
Yeah.
So that was to show that the coin has not been shaved.
Mm-hmm.
There was also Americans that were there was a nickel that had a V on the back of it, and then it did not say cents. At the same time, they had a $5 gold coin that also was the same size and had the V on the back of it for $5. They would actually save up little bits of gold, and they would plate a nickel and turn it in for $5.
Yeah, and then
During the Depression, there was a counterfeit dime made.
a dime was a lot of money back then.
Yes. Well, you're right. A dime was back then in the 20s, a dime was called a workhorse coin because a dime could buy a lot.
And is that why they call it a dime bag?
I don't know.
You know, a dime would be equivalent to a gallon of gas now if we still had a money standard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Wilburn, you couldn't have said more truer statement. Yes. Being on the gold standard would be very beneficial.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yes. Kennedy was the last president to try to put us back on the gold standard, to the point where during his presidency, gold certificate $5 bills were printed.
Really?
You say tried, but you know, Biden tried to cancel student loans. He was never going to. It was all just a ruse to get votes. So a lot of presidents have tried to do things and never actually tried to do anything. So, I mean,
I think if he had not met what his demise, I think he might have seen it through.
But weren't we on the standard then under Kennedy anyway?
No, we were not on the standard.
I thought we still were.
No, we were off standard
I
by
thought we were too, because didn't Nixon take us off?
Nixon.
I don't know when we were taken off. I know that when FDR we were on gold standard during FDR.
He called the gold in, but I think Nixon took us off in 71. FDR called the gold back for money. I remember my grandmother
Yeah.
actually.
Yes,
applied
yes,
for that.
you're right. Yes, you're right. Because I have a political joke piece somewhere in the house, and it's a miniature penny. I mean, it's not even a quarter inch across, and it's a bright, shiny penny, and it's in one of those little white paper and plastic coin keepers. You know what I'm talking about? And it says on it, the Nixon penny, it only keeps getting smaller. So that's got to be in reference to what you're talking about. It must have been Nixon that took us off of the gold standard.
71.
Yeah. Then
And you guys are sitting on top
And
of
we had rampant inflation.
isn't it though? If you're off the gold standard, then you can just print with no.
We've been doing for over 50 years.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for longer than that.
Look what happened. We went off the gold standard in 71. Look what happened to inflation under Carter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who didn't see that coming?
And then remember that BRICS dollar currency that was going to get started, where it was the initials of different countries that were getting together to do a gold-backed currency. They were going to call it BRICS. And that was having everyone really worried. So, yeah, getting back to something that's actually tangibly backed is a good idea.
I read somewhere that Trump is they're gonna send Doge over there to check Fort Knox.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna make sure the
I
gold's
don't
there.
know if there's been gold over there in forever. The last time anyone's been in there was in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought a news crew in there to look at the gold in Fort
I
Knox.
remember that. Yeah.
Who knows? I see Indecisive Garages here. Did I miss anything important? You said important. You should have said interesting. You've missed nothing important.
Hey guys, remember when old James Bond got into Fort Knox and kept Goldfinger away?
Yeah, I remember that. I was there, Dougie. No. I know I've seen the movie. Jeez.
Oh, jeez. That's funny.
My favorite line out of
Who do you think was entertaining Pussy Galore? It made it take so long for him to get that bomb disarmed.
I must be dreaming. My name is Pussy Galore. I must be dreaming.
You know, I've never seen that one.
Really?
Yeah.
My favorite line out of any Bond movie so far comes from that movie Goldfinger, and it's in the book and in the movie when he's on the table, and then Goldfinger's going to do him in, and he says, "Do you expect me to talk, Goldfinger?" And he says, "No, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite line.
That was a good movie. It was all
It
right.
is a good movie. The book is way better. There's little 1-inch paperback Ian Fleming novels. They don't cost much. If you guys want a thrilling little novel, those are awesome. You can read them over and over again. They're that good.
Harold Sakata, who played Odd Job, he was an Olympic lifter. I always thought he was an interesting character. I wish they'd done more with him.
In the book, you learn more about Odd Job and what he's about. That's interesting, too.
I think one of the things that I noticed, I remember from that movie that always struck me as funny, there was a Falcon Ranchero that was used to pick up the remains of a crushed, was it a Lincoln Continental? I think it was a Lincoln Continental they crushed, right? A brand new one. It's like a 63 Ford model.
Yeah.
And what does that weigh? 5,000 pounds?
Yes.
So they crush it into a square cube and they set it in the bed of a Falcon Ranchero, and it didn't squat.
Yep. It loved it.
I remember that as a kid thinking, that was not a whole car put in that bed.
You know, now that you pointed out, you're right. But no, I didn't even think of it at the time.
You'll see it now.
Yeah, man.
You'll see
That
it
thing,
now.
that thing would not be happy with life choices with 5K in the bed.
The CRE wasn't happy towing 5,000 pounds either, but that's not the same as putting it in the bed.
I don't understand Dean Stevenson's
Yeah, I was reading that.
thing there.
Well, he's always he's encrypted everything he says. You got to study it usually.
Maybe he's drinking too.
Maybe.
Someday I'm gonna go to the land of the kiwi bird to pay him a visit.
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever leave the country. If I do, it's to go to Alaska.
So on your way to Alaska, gotcha. You'll drive.
Well,
Can
you ain't gonna get me in a plane.
Well, how are you gonna? But you drive. You know how long that takes. People don't realize just to go to the West Coast is an extra week of nothing but driving. Just blowing through everything, not even stopping to do anything, is an extra week to get down and back. Now, Alaska is more than that.
And the Alcan Highway is not known to be actually like smooth. So careful the machinery you're actually taking down the Alcan.
If you want to go to Alaska and you should just fly.
Yeah.
Because you will be so beat up by the time you get there, you won't even have any fun.
Well, now you can actually, depending on what you're driving, you can do the U.S. to U.S. connection where you drive up, and I want to say that you're in northern Oregon, and then you take a ferry from Oregon out over, and then you land in Alaska.
Yeah, but you know, if he's going to do that, you start to fly to Oregon. So I'm thinking he's talking about no flying or flying. So that's really an option.
Well, I don't like planes.
I love it. I just hate dealing with the TSA.
I only flew once, and that was out to Vegas, and I had to go to unveil that Charger. That was it.
I like it okay. I don't like dealing with TSA. I fly with a firearm, so I've always got to check it. And different places do it different ways, and that's kind of aggravating sometimes.
I went with one of my employees at the time, lovingly nicknamed him Ronnie Retardo. And half these nicknames employees come from Blondie, not from me. And we were at the craps table, and I'm throwing craps, and I'm like, "Come on, baby needs a new pair of shoes," and I'm tossing the dice down there. I shit you not. He takes a dice. He goes, "Oh, we're out of check balls," and he throws the dice. Oh my God! It was so damn funny. Back then, there were no cell phones. I mean, we had one of those walkie-talkie thingies,
Oh yeah, boy, those are popular.
The Nextel thingies, you'd beep.
Oh yeah.
We'd always used to beep them when you saw someone and you'd say something really rude and ignorant.
The worst.
They were bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm at the gas station paying for my fuel, and I got my Nextel in my pocket, and all of a sudden, here it comes. "Oh, Doug, you just missed out. A girl was topless going down the highway. Oh, man, it was great. Oh, they were." And I'm like, "Oh, crap, you're trying to mute your phone."
Yeah. Or when someone says something ignorant and you're standing like at the grocery store with some little old lady who's ticking you, and they're like, "Hey, Cope, you jerk off. Where are you at?"
Yep.
That happens way too many times.
Yep. Well, there was etiquette.
What's that?
There was etiquette, but a lot of people didn't know it and or follow it.
Yeah.
At least you didn't have. I had one guy that would do the little page thing where your phone will beep until you silence the thing.
I hate this laptop thingy. What a pain in the butt. So when I texted you earlier, John, I thought about doing this just because there's nothing to do. So I'm like, let's get some people online. I was sure that Buff was going to have something, but he's not on tonight. So I was like, okay, fine.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be on every night, 24/7 here soon.
All buff, all the time. Oh, all right.
I'm gonna put that in the background, but I ain't touching no buttons now because the minute that I do, it's gonna go
It'll be a
dead.
disaster.
I don't even know how I did this. I was like, I'll play around with it because I'm always
Talk amongst yourself. Be right back.
I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff. All right, let's scope out Dougie's garage now and see what he's got. There you go.
Got the little porthole, you know, with all the guests.
Oh my God. Well, how do I change it, John?
See, look, I got the little porthole.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm
you remember
surprised
that.
you even know what that is.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind going on a cruise, but the one I would want to go out on will be the Pacific Princess they filmed the Love Boat on. And they scrapped it about 10 years ago at a scrapyard in Turkey.
Yeah, I was going to say that thing still can't be in service.
No, it went out in 1970.
Yeah.
So it wasn't very old when they were filming on it. They filmed on it from 77 to like 86 or something. And then it was used for other cruises, and now it's just kind of obsolete by today's standards.
Yeah.
So it got scrapped.
You know, I misjudged your T-shirt for the Transmatic thingy. So I'll tell you what. If you want to give that away to a 3X guy, I'll just have not today. You do it on one of your shows. I'll just have Tony ship you the size that you want.
Well, I'll tell you what. I look homeless in the 2X 340 shirt.
I told Elaine about that tonight, and I wasn't trying. You were like,
I think it was funny.
Well, you kind of did it just a little bit.
Well, I mean, it was kind of. Well, I know it was bothering me. It was bugging me. I was doing this trying to fix it, but I couldn't. I don't like a shirt that has a big neck hole anyway, and that one's cut that way.
Yeah,
Others don't, because that's a 2X I was wearing last night. That bootlegger, it's not made that way. These sweatshirts aren't made that way. It bugs me. I've never liked it. I don't
thanks
like it.
for stopping in, Mr. Go.
Dr. Go.
I'm sorry, Dr. Go.
They call him Dr. Go.
Jeff is on Route 66 tonight. He is, I don't know if that was Springfield, Illinois. Did he send you pictures of his dinner?
No, Jeff is always everywhere.
That guy never sleeps.
No. I used to be moving around a lot too, and don't do it so much anymore.
Yeah, but you're still a puppy enough to do it if you wanted to. You know?
Monday, got a home inspection, got to haul off more brush. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm in continuing education all day. And then Wednesday for dinner, my mom's sister, Aunt Nancy, wants to make a lemon pie for dessert. So I'll go up there for that.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had lemon pie.
She makes a chocolate pie and a lemon pie. They're both really good.
Yeah.
She was 83 on Thursday.
Your mom?
No, my Aunt Nancy was 83.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mom only made it 75.
Oh.
Aunt Nancy's 83 and doing pretty good.
You know, actually, when I saw her at No Name, I didn't even realize she was that old.
Most people don't. I mean,
You know?
she never looked her age.
And the way she would walk and move around, you couldn't tell she was that old either.
No,
You know?
she never looked her age. She, never smoked.
You know what that's from?
Well, it's good genetics because all of her sisters are like that. None of them have
Well,
any gray hair.
it's that and not drinking, smoking, and doing drugs your whole life.
Well, she's 70 there.
Yeah.
And she didn't dye her hair. She just didn't have any gray.
No
Her
kidding.
sister Nancy has no gray hair and she's 83. Just none.
How does that even happen?
My friend Jonathan's 62, and he doesn't have a gray hair either. His hair is jet black and 2 feet long.
Wow.
Some people are like that. Not many, but some are.
Yeah.
I'm like my dad. I was getting gray in my 20s.
Yeah. They used to call my dad the Gray Fox.
Jethro has been gray since he was born.
I always carry something with Jeffro.
Let's see, this picture is, she would have been 65 there. That's when she'll work a lot. She was 65 there.
Yeah. I'd say that's a 45-year-old girl right there.
No one ever thought she was her age.
Yeah. Feeling all better, Dougie?
Oh yeah, had to take a pause with the cause. So don't you go
Right.
change.
Dougie got rid of about 10 pounds of payload.
Felt like 10 pounds of payload.
I take it, I'm sure all the snow is gone by you now, right?
All the snow's gone. Even the lake by my house that had 10 inches or 11 inches of ice on it is completely
I
open.
figured as much.
Boats are on it.
I got to make a community post with them for my old man tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out which one to do. This is us tooling around in the Jeep going somewhere.
Nice.
I got to find a good one to put up. He would have been 81 tomorrow.
Wow. I don't know how old would my dad be? I think my dad and your dad were the same age.
I think he was a fuzz older, but not much.
What year was your father born?
44.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was 43.
Something like that.
My dad's 49. He's still with us. Knock on wood.
Born in 1949. He's not 49 years old.
No. He was born in
He
49.
wasn't 2 when you were born. You said your dad was 49, so.
No. My dad is, I meant 49 as in 49 birth.
He's 76 this year.
Yes. And I'm born, him and I share the same birthday, and I was an accident.
Really?
Yep.
You were what?
I was an accident.
We would have bet that anyway, Doug.
My parents planned on getting married. It's just I brought things to fruition faster.
When Dougie sets it on a tee, he doesn't have to add a sticker that says "hit here." You know.
You know that I never counted the time from when I was born to the time my parents got married until after they both passed away, that they had to get married because of me.
Right.
I think it was it I was born in May of 65 and they got married August 8th of 64. So it was really close.
I was parents got married early June of 77, and then I came in December.
Okay.
So
You're a shotgun baby.
So mom and dad were nice enough to give me a womb with a view for the wedding.
Oh, jeez.
It was really cool. My dad had longer hair than my mom, and my dad's got this really cool Fu Manchu, and he's wearing a black leisure suit, white shirt, white belt, white shoes. Yeah. There's a picture of the green Honda that I have here that you've seen, Cope. There's a picture of me riding on the tank, hanging on the inside of the handlebars. I'm just a squirt. And my dad still has the Fu Manchu in his long hair. And a pony taking me for a ride.
Was he somewhat of like a biker dude or something?
Yeah, he was kind of a biker guy.
Mm-hmm.
He liked Hondas. Had Harley.
My dad had a couple bikes. He had this Honda, like, I don't know what was, maybe a 550 or something.
Yep.
And I didn't realize this until I got a brand spanking new Z50 for, I don't know, my birthday, I would imagine.
Right.
And I think I was 12 years old or whatever. And then there was a Honda dealer called River Oaks Honda. And then me and my dad went to the Honda dealer. I don't know what we had to get, a helmet or I don't know. We got something for the C50. And then when we went there, I stopped and I'm like, Dad, there's your motorcycle. It was up on some lifting and some mechanics were working on it. My dad traded his motorcycle in so I can have a Z50.
Wow.
And I realized that at 12 years old. I'm like, wow, the old man gave up his toy so I can have one. I go, that was pretty cool.
Right.
That was pretty cool.
Right.
I knew his bike from all his other bikes because he had someone paint it, and when he did, something happened to it was white and it had like streaks of brown in it all over. It almost looked like that was done on purpose, but it was a mistake. So when you walked into to River Oaks Honda, there's Dad's motorcycle up on the thing. So
unmistakably Dad's bike.
He went to jail for me once too.
Wow.
Where my house was, if you would go, the very next house was behind the railroad tracks. And the railroad tracks crossed the Cal River. And I was we were on the railroad tracks and some fucking kid was throwing rocks at us and he dinged me in the fucking head. So I got back on my bike and I rode home. And this was on a Saturday where the old man was already half in the bag. And I jumped off my bike and I threw it down on the ground. He's like, "What's your problem?" I got that kid Eddie down there keeps throwing rocks at my head. He goes, "Get in the car." So we jump in the car. He drives down to that kid's house. And I just so happen to be like, "Dad, there he is." He pulls up on the fucking lawn to scare the kid, gets out. The kid runs in the house. The old man's banging on the fucking door. The fucking police come. They take him to the clink. And as they clipped him in handcuffs and they're putting him in the back of the car, he goes, "Johnny, go tell your mother to come get me." So I go home and I tell Mom what happened. She's fucking screaming at me like it's my fault.
Yep.
Like I was the one who turned the fucking car on the ground on the kid's lawn and tried to run him over.
Right.
But he never got charged with nothing. And that kid never fucked with me another day.
He went to jail, but he never got charged.
I bet not.
No, I don't think anything ever had become of it. Nope.
I would think you'd have to be charged to be arrested.
Well, they must have dropped it because he knew the people in town. I don't know, but I don't ever remember
pursued conviction.
I don't ever remember anything ever becoming of it after they took him away. So, but yeah, that kid never gave me no shit. And then me and Elaine go to a wedding for one of her girlfriends that got married, and that fucking kid was there. And I don't know, what was I, 28 years old now instead of 14? And I walked up to him and I whispered in his ear, I go, "Do you want to fuck with me now?" He's like, "Oh, come on, John, we were kids. Don't do that." I says, "Yeah." I says, "I'll go to jail too, motherfucker." Yeah, the old man was cool. He was a goofball sometimes, but he was all right. He was all right. I got to give him kudos for showing me what I know. Who staged a 6th Street Garage? Do you know that guy, John?
He is a regular on my Friday Night Lives, and he just won a No Name Nationals hat.
He did.
Nice.
He sure did.
All right.
And we're going to be having another giveaway this Friday.
You gonna
Speaking
give away a
of
T-shirt?
nationals, on my garage door, which is
I don't
Right.
know what I'll give away, but I'll give away something.
I got my No Name National stickers that you sent me. One of them up. Those are of good quality, Wilburn.
This is Mr. 6th Street Garage right here with his No Name Nationals cap.
Oh,
This is him,
Nice.
the big winner himself.
what?
And yeah, our decals are nice. They're 12-year Scotch Cal vinyl made in America by a guy named Kevin. We don't do any cheap Chinese stickers.
Well, I can tell. I mean, the first time I ran, because mine has the peel off on the front, and I'm smoothing it all out, and I'm like, wow, this is of good material. It's thick.
Those are good stuff.
I
Mine are
like
made in Florida.
flowered.
I get them 5,000 at a shot.
Sixth Street Garage says, "You may call me Paul."
What part of the country is he from?
Georgia.
Georgia.
There's some nice, clean cars down there.
They're getting some wicked weather down south.
Oh yeah. Imagine a car club that had nothing but Plymouth satellites, and they could from Georgia. That way, they could be the Georgia satellites.
Because you know how that's why I never think of Georgia or Virginia as the South. Because
75% of the war was fought here. We wore
I
gray uniforms.
understand that, John, but it's not that way. Oh no, that way.
No. This is not.
I know it all there. The everything was there.
I'm surprised that you have chevrons in your area. Do you have Conocos?
Not really anymore. I mean that.
Oh, you had chevrons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a Gulf station. I remember Dad would go down and get cans of oil, and I would open those things and pour them in the engine of the '68 Falcon when I was a little kid.
Why would you be surprised if he had them in Virginia?
Oh, because like I've never seen those brands around here. That's why I would be surprised. Like chevrons usually were West Coast. You always hear about chevrons, and hell, now Sinclair. Around here you don't see Sinclair, but it's still alive out west.
Yeah.
And so I just thought it was weird that usually chevrons West Coast. So it's interesting to see something on the Eastern Seaboard.
Well, there was one there, but it's long been gone. It's a Shell station now and a convenience store, and it's lost all of its identity. But I remember going down there as a kid. You'd roll up at the pump. You would lift the nozzle off, take the nozzle, lift it to turn it on.
Oh yeah,
In your car. Stop it on
sides on the, that was a Tokheim. That's a Tokheim. I can't think of the model number. But it's Tokheim.
And you would stop it on exactly $10 because that filled your tank, and then you would go in and pay with a $10 bill.
Yep.
And that's how
$10 about filled the car.
And it did, yeah.
My friends had a close ratio 4-speed first generation Ford Escort. It had a $9 tank. And I remember filling the car for like $9.08.
I clearly remember gas well under $1 a gallon. 1991, it was the Gulf War, and right after that was the cheapest it's just been in my lifetime.
Well, that one time though, around that same time, gas went up to $1.25.
Well, I just remember being really cheap. I remember I could change the oil in the Hyundai Excel there for $5. You get 2 of those Purolator filters, 2 of them for $3 on sale at Kmart, and then Pennzoil was 88 cents a quart.
Yes. Around here we have Meijer stores, which is kind of like Walmart, and based out of Michigan. And oh yeah, I remember getting cheap Meijer brand oil for 99 cents a quart. Those days are long gone.
We got Meijers around here too.
Really? Good.
Yeah. Yep. Heck, we even got a Bozo's, a Aurelio's, and a White's Pit Stop all in the same block.
Yes. I've been to one. I want to go see the other two, especially White's Pit Stop.
It's in the back parking lot of Aurelio's.
Nice.
I went
We
there.
parked by it then.
Huh?
We parked by it then because we parked in the back that one day.
We did. And I went there because Aurelio's has got a drive-through. And
Yes,
I
they do.
just went there to get a pizza one night, and I'm like, holy shit, there's White's Pit Stop. You know? And when I went in there for Jeffro to go look at those jackets,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. I told them that the one was really eaten by moths really bad.
Yeah.
And I says, you don't want to give this guy $100 for these. It just wasn't worth it.
Oh.
And the main showroom, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
was no bigger than my office at the shop.
Wow.
Now I remember White's Pit Stop when I was on the team, and he said my account number is still 3, by the way.
Yeah. Chiseled on a stone tablet, right?
I guess. It was like a dealership showroom of race car parts, and everything was hanging on the wall like an old school style speed shop.
Did they have a consignment shelf, or was it all their own iron?
What do you mean by that?
Well, like for instance, I remember when Super Shops was still around, and we would skip school and go up to Super Shops, and most of the stuff in Super Shops was their own stuff, but they had a counter in the very back that was the consignment shelf, and you could bring part and sell it via Super Shops, and then you give Super Shops 20% or whatever.
Yeah. They never did that, and everything they carried was always someone else's. Is that what you mean by that, Dougie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they were selling
consignment when if you brought your tunnel ran to sell it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They never did that.
I got 8. They sold it for 1,000. They got 200. I got 8.
Yeah, they never did that.
Yeah.
Everything there was brand new. They would sell nitrous. And now remember, at White's Pit Stop, the other half was Harley Davidson. So it was half of a Harley Davidson shop of custom stuff, not brand new stuff. And the other half was drag racing.
Okay.
I'll never forget when we be there, buying parts or getting fuel or whatever. These stoner kids would walk in there with a mother bottle of nitrous, with balloons, balloon breakings all over the spout. They'd roll it in, they'd get it filled, they roll it out. They looked like stoners, like druggies.
Yeah.
They were woofing it.
That's a thing now. So now what they call that when people abuse nitrous, they call it whippets. They use those little tiny ones that are used in food preparation.
Yep.
Really?
Waste of time.
I'll never forget the one time I was there with the owner, and we were just sitting there bullshitting, right? This old, I don't know, middle-aged couple walks in, and the lady's crying. She's got a stack of White's Pit Stop receipts this thick, and they were all for nitrous. And I really felt bad for them because they didn't know what their son was doing by going there and buying all this nitrous.
Man, this kid's
broke
breaking
down
rods out of it.
She was crying in the store. Oh, my son! Oh. And David had to nicely tell her, "Hey, this is used as a drug," And then the lady, of course, starts scolding him, like, "Well, what are you doing selling drugs at an automotive store?" And so we told her that it's used in the racing industry, and she thought she was being lied to. And I don't know what happened after that, but
goes to show you how she defaults to thinking that her son is the noble one instead of he is the one.
Right.
Right. You devils at this automotive place have given my son this stuff.
I really did feel bad for her, Because I've seen those goofball kids come in there. You cannot look at that kid and be like, that kid's a jerk off. You know that kid is doing that shit. You know, it's just how they dress. He didn't, and so, but you know, everybody thinks that their own child will never do nothing bad like that. So she got a lesson.
Or you got your small time chemists that play with stuff, and then they know that whatever this is has a trace amount of X in it. But if you do these things, you can concentrate X and actually use it to abuse it and whatever. And yeah, it's like, where do you come up with this?
Jeff said he was at a speed shop yesterday, and I take it that was in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Were you on the live when I gave one of these away?
I was.
Yeah. And so this is the prototype, has an O-ring, which doesn't work very well, and has a magnet.
Now, that's what you use on a car with the carburetors off the motor, right?
Has a little bowl on the top. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I could actually set it on that pedestal and then cycle my throttle blades if I need to.
You know, it would be cool if you made one that goes on top of a carburetor to put your spark plugs in it when you're
That's
doing.
what people were telling him.
Those are
Those have been around. I mean,
because they sell those little, what is it? Pit Buddy is it called? Or Trailer
I've seen a
Pal?
little tray that goes on the carb. Yeah.
Yeah, they sell different stuff like that.
Yes, 2X Lunar stuff. He sent me one. He's going to send me one of the other style that goes on the carb. I told him we'll give one away. I'd give that one away, but he wanted.
Well, I take it he went out and got himself a 3D printer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big thing now. Those little buttons I make, well, I don't make the buttons, but I build them. The plastic casings done off for the PPP buttons are done on a 3D printer.
Those are cool. So earlier today, when I was watching the video of the 4R100 test drive, you had him lock that thing in overdrive at first gear, and then
I had him turn the lockup in the converter on.
Right. He had you put it in lockup, and then he was shifting on top of that. I thought you couldn't shift in lockup.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's very, very, very hard.
Okay.
Yeah. You could do it once to pound your chest when you got someone in the truck.
Right.
But if you do that all the time, you're going to break shafts.
Yep.
It is just like brutally hard. You know, I tell you what, man, I was so freaking happy that all the, because that's the first time that I got to drive a diesel, and then the first time I get to drive one that has my updates done to the balancing of the pressure regulator. Man, and that thing works so good. I was a little nervous, you know, because you make stuff from scratch. You're always doubting yourself.
Right.
You're always doubting yourself.
And especially issues that you were just overcoming. So to come back triumphantly, hell yeah.
Yeah, it felt good. It definitely made me happy, and it took a load of stress off of me. You know.
Fun fact: Cope makes all of these with a rat tail file by hand. Every one of them.
Yes. I'm surprised he's not working on one right now.
No.
He might be. You don't know. He could have one between his toes.
He's on a break. He's got a half done, but he's on a break for right now.
I promise you, I am at home.
That's right.
I didn't know you liked Oldsmobiles, Cope.
Did you get that at a 40% off sale?
I don't even know how that thing broke.
Why don't you turn it on? We'll see how it balances when you get it up to speed.
Oh, jeez.
Put some safety glasses on and fire it up.
No, that's how they know which way's north.
And people are going to call me a hilljack.
Well, they already do. So it's safe.
Yeah, I know. Maybe you can get like a 3-bladed one and put it on the
Here you go.
put it
Turn
on the
it on.
cardboard cope. So when
Turn
the
it on.
wind's blowing, the
You-
3-bladed fan spins on my head.
You take a bottle of rubber cement, like I put the number up with every time. a
Rubber
stack of
cement?
quarters. Yep.
What the hell
And then-
is rubber cement?
And then a stack of quarters, and then you just balance the fan out and tell us how many it takes.
What the hell is rubber cement?
That's what I typed in.
Yeah, you never use rubber cement?
Is that super glue in the South?
Do you really not know what it is?
You use it every time you go
Is
put
it
go somewhere and
super
plug
glue
some
in the
tires.
South?
So what do you do when you plug a tire? Have you
Yeah,
never used this
yeah.
stuff?
Oh, that's what it is?
Yes.
Oh,
Did you know
rubber
that-
cement.
I'm sure Dougie's going to know. Dougie will know like a lightning rod. But this is the stuff that the inmates used to escape from Alcatraz. They took raincoats, they rubber cement, and they made a life raft.
Yes. They said when they come across the actual area where the workshop was, they said that it was built, it was amazing. Because they had stolen everything and smuggled it all the way back to their little workshop where they built the rafts and everything. It was impressive. And the
Rubber
other thing
cement
that was
was a
credited
dope
was their
story in the
Popular Mechanics. I think it was Popular, yeah. They also were avid readers of Popular Mechanics.
I think Jeff's talking about model glue.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
think
never
that's
got
what
high
you
off of model glue, but boy, it had an awesome smell.
Well, I never got high. Well, I mean, I did a lot of models as a kid, but I never purposely abused models. Yeah, I'm probably sure I got on model glue, but it wasn't like I was like, Dude,
Isn't the model glue store right next to the Coney dog store?
yes. Yeah. Yes, it is.
So the glue, the tester's glue for models smells like oranges. And Sixth
Well-
Street Garage wants to know if that's a film projector on the shelf behind you, Cope.
It is. That is an 8-millimeter movie projector.
You can tell by the reel.
Yep.
Super.
What I do is, I actually got some 8 millimeters that I switched over on some of my videos, I think. Oh, man. Oh, run
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Sometimes I'm walking through the shop and I'll be all by myself and I need a good chuckle and I'll spit that out. Well, look who finally showed up. Where was he at? A volleyball game? Just got home.
Unfinished project.
What's up, UP?
He's never been on a live, has he?
He was busy.
He's
Oh,
been
yeah,
on lives.
he's
You
been
don't
on-
see him on live, but he's been. You hear his voice on lives.
he's been on mine twice.
Yes.
You're kidding me.
No, I've seen both of them. I can verify it.
And he doesn't put his face on there?
Nope. He's the international man of mystery.
He told me a few years ago, I said, when do you want to be on live? And he said, February 29th. And I think in his mind, he was just thinking that means I'll never have to be on there. And he didn't realize February 29th is leap year. So a few years later, I said, hey, February 29th is coming up. He's like, but he kept his word. He didn't want to. He kept his
Did he
word.
really?
I'm live on February 29th. So it would have been last year if you want to watch it.
Oh, my goodness.
I had him on for about an hour or so.
Yep.
I heard you talk. Remember that one show? The guy would look over the fence.
Wilson? Yeah.
Wilson.
Wilson.
That's him.
Heidi ho, neighborino.
Yeah, right. He always gave advice.
Right. Right, and he always talked very articulate. He was very articulate, and I always like how whenever what he learned from Wilson, he would try to go and recite back, and he'd always make just absolutely slaughter it.
It was a gearhead version of the Brady Bunch, where you always learn something that went bad, and then he fixed it. And
I like the Brady Bunch a lot better than Home Improvement.
One of my favorite ones was Tim Allen, and that's when they had that whole neighborhood thing going on. They set up a neighborhood where Dan Aykroyd was the soul man, and he was living in a Detroit burb, and he was friends with Tim Allen, and somebody else from another show was friends, so they would, just run into each other. And
this was a show or a movie?
It was a show. It was a TV show to coincide that was running at the same time as Home Improvement. So yeah, there was Dan Aykroyd had a show called The Soul Man, and he was a pastor that was also a biker. Short-lived. And yeah, he was part of the neighborhood and actually did cameos in Home Improvement because he's in the neighborhood. There's another show.
He's got a new show out now. On TV, the guy from Home Improvement, Tim Allen.
Yeah, changing gears and shifting gears.
He had Jay Leno on it the other night.
You want to know what Tim Allen's real last name is?
Can't remember.
Dick. Tim Allen Dick. Tim Allen is his first and middle name.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Were you playing volleyball, UP? Is that where you were at, the volleyball place?
Probably knowing him, he probably just got off work.
I thought he was a millionaire. He didn't work.
No.
No?
He does top secret work for the government.
Yeah, right.
He's a paid assassin.
Where is he from? Maine?
Maryland?
Maryland?
I think it's Maryland.
Uh-oh, he's a northerner. So Wilburn's going to have a grudge towards him.
In every day.
Out of class, I declare this land in the name of the South.
Hey, John, have you ever seen the Django yet? Or Django?
Django Unchained, yeah.
The movie?
Yeah.
Okay. That's got some hardcore Southern shit in that movie.
It's just corny comic stuff that somebody who's not from the South puts together, yeah.
Right.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You think, what are you saying?
You really think that crap is an actual Southern? None of that. It's just it's Quentin Tarantino's comic book nonsense. Not any reality to any of that.
Who's stumbling out there in the woods?
There is nothing more irritating than watching Yankees try to show us in film or on television what they think Southerners live like or talk like or anything. Yeah. First of all, they think we're all just abject retards. I just want to punch them in the face when I see that stuff. And when they try to do a Southern accent, these actors, California, wherever, it's always so phony. It is so phony.
Well, how would you rate the original, the OG Dukes of Hazzard then? Those weren't Southerners.
No, but the whole thing was just a corny, fun action car show. Yeah. I'm talking about when somebody tries to make a serious movie.
Like a drama kind of a thingy.
Here's one that I think is hilarious. I can get away with saying this. It's not my channel, so I won't get back to him. But I know a guy who was in a movie that was filmed in my hometown. Country Justice in 1997. Had George C. Scott and Ali Sheedy and stuff. And anyway, he played a deputy. It was filmed there. He's from Virginia, and yet he puts on this crazy fake accent. I'm like, dude, just speak normally. You're from here. And I'm like, why would you? I don't know. I never understood why he did that. So he puts on this comic book foghorn leghorn accent. I'm like, you're from here. He sound like somebody from up north impersonating us.
Well,
I've never understood that.
during the
I don't think either you or your mom had, or even Andy for that matter, have a hardcore Southern accent.
Well, that's because the ones
Right.
you hear are the ones that are portrayed in movies. That's where you've gotten your
No.
idea of it.
No, like when you go down to Bowling Green,
That's not in the South. That's Bowling. You've never actually been in the South, though, like in the deep South.
that's further to the southern border the equator than you are.
That's not the.
Okay, educate me.
That's not. That's Kentucky. That's a whole different thing.
You mean southeast?
No, the South. I mean, I'm saying you could get into Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Louisiana, Panhandle of Florida, Georgia, of course, South Carolina, which hasn't been overrun by Yankees like Hilton Head, of course.
I hear people from Southern Illinois have a harder accent than you do.
Well, but there's all kinds of stuff in the mix that you have an idea of a Southern accent. But for the most part, Hollywood portrays anybody in the South as just being a moron.
Yeah.
Well, look at how about people from Terre Haute, Indiana, or further south than that? They're just man, that dog man, you know, dang old man, boom hour man.
See,
I don't
Sixth
know.
Street Garage says so true because he's from Georgia, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know. When I went down there, I know it's not the deep south, but we went to Sonics, and oh my God, I almost couldn't understand what they were saying. You know what I do a lot of times with the good old boys from like Alabama or whatever call me and they're asking for parts. I kind of fuck with them a little bit. I'm like, I go, "Are you from New York? You sure sound like you got yourself a New York accent there." "Oh no, John Colt," or they call me Mr. John. "Oh no, Mr. John, no. My family tree came from here, here, and here," and they would.
Well, see, what's bad is that people won't differentiate Southern accent from ignorant accent, and that bothers me to no end. If you were to level up education in geography, it will be completely different. Now, they won't do that with a black accent. They would never say, "Well, that's an uneducated versus an educated." Oh, they would never do that. That'd be political.
Right.
But with Southern white people, oh, it's totally fair. We're like the least protected status on earth. A Southern white conservative straight male is like it.
And throw the
nobody cares
religious
about anything
aspect
about us.
in there, John.
What's that?
You got to throw the religious aspects in there too.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm like the least concerned conservation status
Now,
on earth.
on the same coin, instead of the Southern accent being the air quotes ignorant accent, why is someone with a British accent like all of a sudden got a plus 20 on their IQ points? Just because he's very prim and proper.
Well, you know, Joe and I have talked about this. We think it's ridiculous. We have 5 college degrees between the two of us, and we have people try to, put themselves over on us like they're smarter because they're from up north. So anyway, when somebody leaves a stupid comment like that on one of Joe's videos, he always texts me to give him an airstrike, and I always do. So
Joe, Mopar Joe?
yeah. So when some really obnoxious person from up north comes in and makes fun of Joe in his comments, I always usually get a message to come in and smite that guy, and I'm always happy to do it.
Joe's got more of an accent than you do, but
Yeah,
it's still not as hard as I hear some of these
It's
people
not
calling me.
more of, it's just different. He's from Arkansas.
Okay, his accent is more easy to pick out.
I can say you have more of an accent, but really you don't. You just have a different accent.
I
Right.
guess. Yeah.
Right, because he's a street shop kid from Chicago.
Again, I'm differentiating, articulation with geography. They're not the same thing.
Right.
So when someone's inarticulate and they mumble a lot and they're not very clear, it's not that they have more accent. They just don't speak plainly.
Right. Yeah.
And we
I
know
agree with
people that applies to, but I'm not going to say it here.
Spit it out.
I'm not going to say it occurred to you, and that's why you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it.
Spit it out.
I'm not about to.
There ain't no one shy here.
No, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's funny because Dean says the English people have been lying about it for 248 years. My family came here from England in 1610, and we made it an entire, 250 miles in 415 years? So I would venture to say I probably have less accent because it's not been randomly scattered about and pieced together from everywhere.
How far is West Virginia from you, John?
60
The
miles.
next town over.
60 miles.
Okay.
I'm from Bluefield. I'm from Bluefield, which is right on the border. There's a Bluefield, Virginia, and a Bluefield, West Virginia. And so I could see the state. In fact, the gas station where my race car lived, the state line went through the parking lot. So when he would park his U-Haul trailers in West Virginia and literally back his truck across the state line from the convenience store to hook one up and bring it over to load his race car. That's where the state line was in relation to where I was. I could see that, of course, from my bedroom window. I could see the state line. My dad worked in West Virginia because he was on that side of Leatherwood Lane. And yet the convenience store where he would go across to get a Coca-Cola in the middle of the day was in Virginia because it was on the other side of Leatherwood Lane. That's where the state line was, just right there. You could see it.
That's cool.
When I went down last year, when I raced that southern track in southern Ohio, it was right on the river, and we crossed the river, and I went into West Virginia for the first time. I had to get out of the truck, put my foot on the ground, get back in the truck, just so I can say I was in the state.
Yep.
But that's as far east as I've ever been, even though it's the South.
But you saw a completely different part of West Virginia. Southern West Virginia is where all the crazy stuff that people make fun of is, like the snake handling churches. There's a snake handling church not 20 miles from one of my properties, for real. There's two of them. The Whitaker family that's featured on Soft White Underbelly.
Yeah.
We're in Raleigh County. They're like 2 counties north of where I'm from. There's an episode where he loads them up and takes them to a bowling alley. That's the bowling alley where we would bowl after school and on field trips.
Come
Wow.
on. Really?
Green Valley Bowling Center, yeah.
No shit.
And it looks a lot like it did then. It hadn't changed much in 30 years.
That's crazy.
Southern West Virginia is where the crazy stuff is. ABC came there for something, did a feature, because McDowell County, West Virginia, at one time was the poorest county in all of America.
Mm.
And that's where my mom's from.
No kidding.
She was born in Welch, West Virginia. I mean, if you've ever been there, it's just, there's nothing like. You've never seen a place that's so steep.
It's so what?
It's so steep. Like when you get into Welch, you'll see houses that are up on a bank that have like there's one of them I took a picture of, has a sewer pipe coming out of the bank and then making a 45 elbow and dropping straight down. There's another house that has a stone staircase that goes up about 2 or 3 stories from the street to the house, and somebody has rigged up a rail and a shopping cart and a winch on it. So they can park at the street, put their groceries in the cart, hit a button, and brings them up to the house.
Yes.
There's houses that have 2 switchbacks in the driveway. It's the steepest place you've ever seen.
I don't understand why anybody would want to build that's a house so far up.
It's cold country.
View. Oh, look at the view.
No, nothing to do with the view. Those people they don't care. It's because it was coal country. And so they would just want to just dig out in the side of a mountain and live right there where they mine.
Ah.
She was from Carswell Hollow. That's where she was from. And so they just literally had a hollow that went back in the mountain. They terraced out. You had a company store and you had 2 rows. And the white people lived on the lower row and the black miners lived on the top row. and it was just
Really?
all like the side of them. Yeah. And my mom remembers when and none of them had indoor plumbing. They all had outhouses. And mom remembers when she was a little kid, the upper row catching on fire, and there were bucket brigades, people trying to run to help put it out.
Oh, jeez.
And
Where's your dad from?
Bluefield? Yeah,
Which state?
West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got ya.
Yeah, I was born in the Bluefield Sanitarium in Bluefield, West Virginia. That was.
Did you hear that, Dougie?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Do you know what that is?
Uh-huh.
That part, if you were born in the mid 70s up through, I think they closed that down about first couple months of 78, something like that, and then they opened Bluefield Community Hospital. So if I was a little younger, I'd have been born there.
I cannot imagine that. I don't. How do you put the two together? You know,
Medical facility. And at that time, there was no PC.
Everybody who's like
with-
everybody who's 45, 46, 47 years old was born in Bluefield was born there.
whoa.
If you're any younger than that, you were born at Bluefield Community. If you're any older than that, you were born at the old downtown hospital or Princeton.
That is so foreign to me. You know,
It was a nice building. It's a parking lot now.
yeah, they tore it
Yeah.
down.
I remember a certain mental health place south of me, and they used to have a sign on the lawn that said the city sanitarium. Now it's like Royal Oaks, way or something. But at one time, I remember it was straightforward what it was. This sanitarium,
The Nut House.
the Nut House. And actually, the funny thing is a lot of the old sanitariums, if you look at it, the architecture is purposely done in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. You look at it, it's thin and it's tall and it's looming and it's like you don't want to be there.
So that house, both of those buildings have been torn down, and that is the old sanitarium.
Okay.
Which one?
Well, both of them are sanitarium properties, so I don't
Okay.
know. She was probably in that ward building over there, but
Which one
It's
were you
all-
born in?
huh?
Which one were you born in?
I was going to say I'm not sure exactly, and I can't ask her, but that's all the sanitarium building. All of that is. There's a shot of it from Ramsey School across the street. See how steep the street is?
Yeah.
And of course, it was a blizzard too. It was 2 feet of snow and everything else. Same blizzard your old man was pulling people out in the snow in.
Yeah. 79,
78 would have been
78.
would have been the end of 77, beginning of 78.
Right.
Yep. Yep. I was just an infant. As a matter of fact, during that time, my parents lived in town north of us.
I'm gonna get something to drink.
And everyone and their brother, my dad was one of those guys, everyone knew my dad. So, and was friends with my dad. So all the guys would come through with their plow trucks, and we lived in the city, and everyone would come through and plow snow. And then, mom would stick her head out and give them a wave, and I'm up or down for a nap or whatever, and mom hears something crash. And she goes and looks, and all the snowbanks that the guys had squished back had collapsed upon themselves, and the driveway was completely full again.
Damn. Cope sounds like he's out of check balls. You hear that?
We're on check balls. Come on, John. Let's hear it. Do your grinder.
Oh, we're out of check balls.
Wilburn, come on. Your turn.
No, that's Cope's line there. So
I told Ronnie Retardo you got to come back to the shop so I can get you on video saying that he does it better than me.
here's an old ad for the Bluefield Sanitarium. It says Bland Street. It faced a different street. Will admit surgical and medical cases of all kinds except insanity and contagious diseases. Apply for terms.
Weird.
Dr. Fox
Yeah.
and St. Clair surgeons and physicians, and Dr. Peary, your nose and throat. And that was an ad from 1902, July 16th, 1902, Bluefield Daily Telegraph.
Dr. Fury or Perry? Oh,
Dr.
Perry.
Perry. Dr. Perry.
Dr. Perry.
Since we're reading it through a Love Boat window, I can't get the whole ad in there, but you get the idea.
Dr. Go, did you ever watch that one video where I tell what my dad did with his tow truck, Mr. Haney #1? You'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
I remember that night. I remember my mom pissed because she thought he was out drinking. Someone's asking you a question, John Boy.
Still got the coupon for what? This is a picture on my phone.
Stevia. Zevia? Is that how you pronounce it? Stevia?
Stevia?
Stevia. No sugar, caffeine free, pop.
So is it like a cola?
Yeah, but it's got aftertaste.
Cope,
Oh.
you can't tell anybody what this is yet, but if they want to find out, they got to watch the video on Tuesday.
Is that going to be your question?
No, but there's a great story that comes with that. So if you
That's
wanna
the
know
one that's going to be on that lady's video.
It'll come out on Tuesday. I'm going to be live an hour before it, and then it'll be a premiere on Tuesday at 8:00 Eastern. So
You got to
7
make sure you share that with all of us so we can
I
watch it.
will as soon as she puts it up as a premiere.
Okay.
Gonna fill it with maple syrup?
No, you'll see. You'll see.
Okay.
That is an old Pepsi syrup jug. Yeah. You'll have to watch to find out the story behind it.
That is something that I would definitely want in my collection.
It's the only Pepsi thing I own.
Wilburn, old buddy, how you doing? Good to see you.
That is a Pepsi syrup jug. You can still see the paint colors. It's Pepsi,
Yep.
and it came from New York in 1953.
That's pretty cool.
And it's just syrup. It was just syrup.
Yep.
It's a commercial.
It's a syrup
Doug
jug.
knows about. Let him tell you. Tell him what a syrup jug is, Doug.
You mix that with water and make
Yeah,
soda.
you mix it with your carbonated water.
Right.
One of my old teachers worked for a Dog and Suds, and he said that they would have to mix up root beer, and it was come as a powdered concentrate, and you had to put a bag of it to so much water to make the syrup, and then to get the root beer ready for serving. Came in sacks, 50
We got
pounds.
2 Dog and Suds in Lafayette.
We've got one in operation, and it's north. It's like north of Muskegon, so it's like an hour and some change north of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Unfinished project. You need to watch that video on Tuesday. You will know exactly how I know, other than the lid paint. Actually, you can. It's not a good picture. It says Pepsi on the lid, and it's got their logo and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We always thought Pepsi is a Yankee drink. Agreed. You watch Tuesday, it'll all make sense.
North Carolina.
Cope knows exactly what I'm talking about, but he can't say anything.
How can Pepsi be a Yankee drink if it's from North Carolina?
It's from New York.
Is it?
Yeah.
And how come Pepsi HQ is in North
I
Carolina?
don't care where it is now. I'm talking about the 1950s.
Oh,
I
These
thought
are
it came out way earlier than that. Ain't that like the 20s?
Coca-Cola is 1886. Dr. Pepper is 1885. I'm not sure about Pepsi exactly. I think it's a fuzz later. Here are the 2 Coca-Cola buildings in Bluefield. Now, that one on the bottom has been beautifully restored. The Swope Company owns it. It's really nice. Unfortunately, in that picture, you can't see this giant overpass next to it now where they moved to Easley Bridge. This is the old Coca-Cola bottling building. It's just being left to rot. It's next door to my buddy Ben's shop. So if you saw those shorts I put out this week of doing air tools and stuff, that was in the building next door to this. They used to rent that and kept, their trucks and stuff in it. But that is the old Bluefield Coca-Cola bottling company. Right
Is
there.
that where the dirty grinder was at?
Next door to that? Yep.
The,
That little alleyway comes out right in my buddy's parking lot.
on the west side of Grand Rapids, the Coca-Cola bottler is still in operation.
Really?
Yep. My grandfather worked at the Pepsi plant that was slightly south of that area. And Pepsi pulled out in like 1982, I want to say. But yeah, the Coke bottler is still alive and well.
When I used to drink regular pop, I was always a Pepsi guy over the Coke.
Yes, I knew you were a good
Always
man.
was.
Yes.
This is Rockcliffe ginger ale. So the Coca-Cola had a bottling plant in Rock, and they eventually sold it and consolidated and moved the offices to Bluefield. So my grandfather actually retired working in Bluefield, but he was general manager at Rock for a long time. And they made their own ginger ale called Rockcliffe.
Okay.
Rock Mineral Springs Company. I found another picture too. I'm not finding it, but his cousin had the Knee-High bottling building too.
Lars! You guys want to have a taste treat? Go find yourselves Verner's Ginger Ale. Nothing tastes like
that. I've heard that.
Verner's
Lars,
Ginger Ale is good.
Lars, did you get a package today with everybody else?
Yesterday.
Oh, that's right. No, wait a minute. Dougie, you got yours today, didn't you?
I got mine. Well, it could have been in my mailbox yesterday, but I got it out of my mailbox today.
Okay.
I know he got it today. He sent me a picture.
Does he drive a Honda?
He does. Yes, he sent you the same picture.
He didn't send me a picture. You did. I
He said
thought that was your car.
Nope. He said this no, it's not my car because this one's only got 290,000 on it.
Well, geez.
But anyway, he said he's cool now. Got it yesterday. See?
How many rounds are on the clock of that Honda of yours, Wilburn?
364 something.
364?
Yep.
I don't have yet, but 50. I think I got like almost 50,000 on my Honda. That's a Valkyrie, though.
How many?
50,000 miles? That's a 97. 48?
Did you change the fluid and filter on your 545 FRE yet?
No, I haven't yet. I'm waiting for the weather to get just a little bit better, and I'll be doing that.
All right. Just checking.
Oh, excuse me.
Dougie, you slob.
That's don't you tell me that I look like a homeless bum.
What you do? Just kidding.
Buff's asking same engine, same transmission. Buff, I changed the valve cover gasket on it once. I changed the transmission fluid in it once. I put a coil pack on it, couple rear wheel bearings. I mean, it would shock people how little I've done to that. It still has the entire original front end in it, every part, tie rod ends and all. I put brake rotors on it and one caliper on the back. It's amazing what I haven't done to that.
44,108 since
Really?
97. Yep, 44,000.
That ain't bad.
No.
For a motorcycle.
Right.
Dr. Ghost's mechanic was featured for reaching 1 million miles on his Honda Goldwing. Man.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. I can't.
Yes.
Makes my back hurt thinking about it.
No. Honda Bagos are the smoothest. John, you would love a Honda Bago. You would love a Honda Bago.
You ever ride a motorcycle, John?
Nope.
John's never been on a motorcycle.
I've been on one. I've rode one 20 feet, and I've ridden a monkey bike, maybe a couple 100 feet. That's about it.
You've never gone snow skiing either.
Nope.
Could you imagine that?
Wow.
You ever been parasailing, Coat?
What's that?
You ever been parasailing?
No.
You ever been on zip line?
No, but
Okay.
wait a minute now. You're talking about things about heights, and you're telling me you're
Wait a minute. It's just stuff.
no,
we
no,
never
no,
have
no.
done.
You told me that you don't like going on the garage roof.
No, I don't. Do you like going on a garage roof?
No.
Well, okay.
That's because I don't like the heights.
I don't care about the height.
like
I don't like the
heights
idea that you'll die with it self-cleaning with that angle. That's what I don't like. I don't care if it's 100 feet up. I just don't like the idea that it's on an angle. You twist your ankle and you're freaking dead. That's fine.
Well, you probably live off of a garage that small.
Yeah, well, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It's not the odds, it's the stakes. Okay.
No,
That's why I
I've
don't
never
want to
bungee
go.
jumped. No.
When
I
got
do
a-
shit. I do shit on the ground.
I got a video somewhere. When I got an estimate on my roof of a house in Bluefield, it's a Cape Cod. It's real steep. I had this wooden ladder I put up there so that I could just go up and carry everything and did a bunch of roof repair. This roofer came up to give me an estimate on the front of it with the dormers, and he just walked up, no harness, nothing, just walked up, kept going, walked over the crest. We're talking a 45-degree angle. And then he gets on the front and kind of slides down, staying. I'm like, one slip and he'd have been dead. He know nothing about it. Like, that's the gene you have to be a roofer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did tell him, though, I said, listen, your crew can't leave anything here. And the reason for that is because I don't know what they're leaving there, like controlled substances or whatever. I do know that only one of them had a driver's license, and yet about 5 or 6 trucks showed up every day. So roofers are a whole different
My
breed.
dad's oldest brother was an iron worker, and he'd walk the girders in downtown Chicago building skyscrapers. And he'd walk like it was nothing, and he slipped and he fell to his death.
See,
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah. Just takes
Sure.
one time.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then, he was the foreman, okay, or some kind of big union guy or something. And whoever's crew was working on that particular part of the building, they put the crew member's last name. So his last name was Cope. So they'd write Cope on the beams and put them all up there so they knew what floor to take the beams, right? His son is also named John Cope, which is my cousin, and he's 4 years older than me. Would go into buildings in downtown Chicago, and he would do some asbestos removal. He removed, he found, I got a picture of it too, a beam with the last name Cope on it. Can you
Cool.
imagine that?
Neat.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 5 John Copes. Well, now there's
You're
only
related?
4. My dad's John, is Jack is a nickname.
Right.
My cousin
Well,
John
it's not
Cope,
for the time to call John Jack.
right. My cousin John Cope, he has a son named John Cope, me, and then my son John Cope. And I'll never forget the one time I went to Lansing, Illinois for a speeding ticket. And it goes, okay, Mr. Cope. And it was in the morning. He goes, did you do your drunk driving courses and this and that? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I just got a little speeding ticket. Oh, no, they're ready to throw me in the clink. And they're like, oh, you're lying. You're this, you're that. I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And I didn't know what he was talking about. Well, my cousin lived in Lansing and I lived in Cal City, and the 2 towns are right next to each other. I go, look it. And I had a ticket because back then they would take your driver's license and then give you a paper ticket. And I go, look it. It's for speeding. And they look at the records and they switched my cousin's file with my file. He had an afternoon court date. I had a morning court date. So there was a little confusion there with that. That's when our families came up with a real John Cope, please stand up.
right? Imagine all those guys on To Tell the Truth.
Yeah, right.
My name is John Cope. My name is John Cope. My name is John Cope.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the only time that the names ever got mixed up. You know what I mean? Oh, and one time, my cousin, he's kind of a fuck up. He, when my dad was renting a room from him upstairs, so there was my dad, John Cope, was upstairs, and my cousin, John Cope, was downstairs, and he was a fucking drug dealer. And the Lansing police came in. They stormed both upstairs and downstairs. My dad was
That way we get. That way we make sure we got it.
my dad was on the toilet taking a shit when the fucking cops broke the fucking doors down. And they're like, wait a minute, you got the wrong John Cope. And they're like, yeah, right, come on, they want to cuff him and stuff him right then and there, right? Well, they let him go, but they made him leave because they confiscated the property.
Wow. Be right back.
There are a bunch of John Wilburns.
Really?
There's me, there's Dad, there's a missionary, there's a guy that works for the Red Cross, there's a lawyer, there's a sex offender in Georgia who's black and about 20 years older than me. There's an actor. There's one who died in a kayak accident, and he went to Virginia Tech a little after me. And other than Dad and I, none of them are related. Oh, and of course, the most famous one is the preacher who led the Battle of Blair Mountain in West Virginia, the mine wars in the 1920s.
I think there's a song called The Legend of Johnny Cope. And I thought it was about the Revolutionary War, how he helped out or something. But I think it was for the English and not for America, if I remember correctly.
Interesting.
But if you look that up, the song is on YouTube. I haven't played it in years. I don't remember, because when I want to go look for my son's channel, because he's got some of my early videos on his channel, I think 2 of them before I came out with my own channel. So I would type up Johnny Cope, and then that song always would come up from the Revolutionary War. What is Dean saying?
There's a Wilburn Valley in Harrisburg, Giles County, Virginia, and that's where my family's from. So I'm the 3rd generation who didn't come from there. The 4th generation back came from there.
What nationality is Wilburn?
English.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same with Cope. They say it used to be Copeland and it got shortened. I don't know if that's true or not.
If you got to Virginia when we did, you're related to all kinds of cool people way back there, though.
No, my great-grandfather came here in the late 1800s.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yep. Came here and went straight to Chicago. He worked on
the Jordan.
He was a railroad engineer. And then he went down to the Panama Canal and helped make the train shit down there. He was a pretty wealthy man, too, from what I gather. You know?
There was old money in our family, but not anymore. I can promise you that's all long gone.
Is that the song?
There you go.
1745,
Dean
which
found
was, Hey, Johnny Cope, are you walking yet?
Waking.
There's no L. I guess that's it. He must have looked it up, huh?
Surely that's it. I can't think anything else would be.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's a Scottish folk music.
Significant Battle of the Jacobite Rising of 1745, commemorated by the tune, Hey, Johnny Cope, are you waking yet?
Yeah, I don't know. That don't sound familiar, but it could be.
I can't imagine it's
I think I played it one time and that was it. You know? Fuck, it's 11 o'clock here in
which
Chicago.
still features in modern Scottish folk music and bagpipe recitals.
So that's not English.
Well,
Is it kind of the same?
yeah. I'll give it. It's close enough.
Oh, shit.
You wouldn't tell that to someone like Sean Connery, but
Right.
man, it looks like Dougie's gone back for round 2.
I think he's in there grunting. So I hear something coming out of that bathroom.
Buff says it's tomorrow where John Wilbert is. That is correct. I'm from the future.
Oh, my God. You're on Sunday.
I'll never be accused of being from the future. That's for sure.
I'm surprised you weren't on tonight, Buff.
Yeah, I know. Buff isn't live tonight. What's up with that?
Yeah, really. You guys are slacking over there. Did you go get yourself a quickie, Dougie?
Absolutely. I skipped the foreplay. That's why I was back sooner.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, thank you for giving me an indelible image that took 20 minutes off the end of my life, Cope. I appreciate it.
Holy fuck.
Pardon me while I go get a hammer so I can drive these into my eyes to make the pain stop.
Yeah, right.
My eyes! Like jerky boys.
6th Street Garage is asking, do any of you have suggestions on how I could find videos my brother made before he died? Well, that's a really broad question. So are
Yeah.
these like on VHS? Have they been uploaded to the internet? Or what kind of videos are we looking for?
I'm assuming that he probably uploaded something to
I'm not
YouTube.
proving anything. Let's see what he says. Let's see what 6th Street Garage Paul says first, and then we'll figure out how to help him. Because it could be in a wicker basket on a VHS tape. It could be uploaded to the internet. We don't know yet.
This is true.
You know, that's why I did the circle thing, John. The Love Boat circles.
Uh-huh.
So you couldn't see the mess in the background. Or I could do that one guy does and put a big old curtain up there.
Right.
Mater, a big tarp.
Where's that guy been? Has he been around?
Mater, he was had his head in the Friday Night Live
He does?
for a minute. Yeah. He's got
Hey.
a spectator ticket for No Name Nationals. We'll see if he turns up.
Mater's Workshop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's healing up from hand surgery right now.
Okay.
Well, 6th Street Garage may be a slow typer.
That's all right.
So we'll give him a chance to.
You know, there are people that they'll message you, you message them right back, and you hear back from them 3 days later. It's like, did you
Yeah.
throw your phone in the river in the course of 30 seconds? He said these videos have been uploaded to YouTube about transmission building. Well, your best bet in that case would be put search terms in with his name or name of his shop, transmission, sift through the results. What kind of transmissions did he build?
I would think that'd be easy to find.
Right. Especially
shouldn't be
if
hard
you
to find.
make a transmission he liked to play with.
Yeah.
If he specialized in one transmission, look for that. But look for his name, the shop name. Just use as many search words as you can and play around with that and sift through the results. Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, well, there's not a lot of Airbnbs in Sykeston.
There's a fair amount of stuff around there, though, like people renting campers and stuff. And like you can rent campers all around that area, and they list them on there now, which I think is crazy. I actually thought about doing that.
Yeah, but they're not going to drop it off at the grounds for you.
Oh, they will. If you pay enough, they will.
Oh yeah,
If you
yeah.
can-
You could get a killer Airbnb for $100 a night.
I realize that.
Was that what you were paying for that place when you come up to Michigan? It was $100 a night.
It was just a little bit more.
That was a nice place.
That place is beautiful.
Not bad at all.
But in the next 30 days, or April 1st, I go get the RV. I go get the RV, and as soon as I get it and clean it up, it's up for sale. It's going.
That's boat money.
Yes, sir.
150 horse tri-tune, baby.
Envelope,
You know it.
envelope plus RV payment savings equals boat.
Transmission guy math.
I was told there was no glitter on the dollar bills.
Eh. You sniffed a few of them and you know it.
Yeah,
Right.
What is Dean saying there?
This is a huge trans guy. Who knew?
Now I want to know who this guy is.
Yeah, I know. It'd be interesting. Yeah, do the search terms and kind of shuffle them in different orders, like his name and then shop and whatever, and then flip it around.
Oh, what the
Hope
hell
wants
did I
to
just
put up
do?
Lars' comment, and he can't because he's fooling around with the windows. I know what he's doing.
Oh, what the hell did I just do?
Oh, it's ruined forever now.
I don't know. What did I just do?
Oh, man, everybody's going to drop out.
Wow, Cope, you need to trim your nose hairs.
Oh,
God.
Oh, my gosh, it's like the Death Star eclipsed us all. That's getting clipped out for a meme.
Oh,
200% chance of that.
I don't know. All right, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. All right. Oh God.
Save that for us, Lars.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, don't do that.
Too late.
There you go. Urgh. All right. So how about those Cubbies?
Tigers, baby, tigers.
What are tigers?
Tigers? Detroit Tigers. A stealthily animal that creeps and sneaks up on people very quickly.
I don't understand half these things. I don't do gold, but I do have silver. The gold plating and the bolts?
No, the green gold in the back of your nose.
Yeah, he's talking.
I get it.
Yes, he wants to know who that transmission builder was.
Yeah. That'd be cool. If he's got videos out, I would like to check them out. You talking to me? You talking to me?
Am I here to entertain you? Am I a clown?
Oh, fuck. Well, tomorrow's no shop day.
You mean today?
Not for me yet. I got 45 minutes or so left. It's still Saturday in the central part of the world, which is
No,
Chicago.
it's tomorrow.
You know, if you ever get your ass back down here, Wilburn, I did want to take you to the Museum of Science and Industry.
Oh.
Dude, you will dig the shit out of that fucking place. It
Everyone
really is
just
cool.
told me to make a weekend out of it. Go
Man,
find a hotel.
4 hours and you're done.
4 hours and you're done? I was told you couldn't see it all in a day.
The museum?
Yeah.
Nah. You can hit everything and then go back and see the cool things in 3 or 4 hours.
Okay. I've never been there and I want to go.
22nd and Lakeshore Drive.
Be
It's
right
not a
there.
nice neighborhood, but now you got parking underneath the joint. It's the only building left from the World's Fair.
Oh,
Or they
down,
used to.
down on the Midway Croissants.
Yeah, it wasn't called the World's Fair though. It was called
The Exposition, World's
Yeah.
Exposition.
yes, that's what it was
Yeah.
called.
Great expo.
Well,
They had
Dr. Go's been to the museum. He's a Chicago boy though, ain't he? I didn't even know Jeffy was still in here. I took Wilburn to the planetarium once already, and he dipped his feet in Lake Michigan in fucking February. And when I told him to do that, I was only joking.
Grand Rapids has a planetarium named after the astronaut Roger B. Chaffee.
No, that's not the name of the planetarium.
No. Grand Rapids has a planetarium
Oh.
named after Roger B. Chaffee, the astronaut. He's from Grand
Wilburn's changing his sign.
There are now 185 days, 23 hours, and 44 minutes until the 4th annual AHRA No Name Nationals.
It's gonna be a good time.
Anything kind of cool or different for the number 4?
Well, hopefully Cope will show up. The
Yeah,
three-dimensional Cope.
He was there last year, remember?
Two-dimensional will
You were so
definitely be
proud
there.
of showing me that, too.
The two-dimensional will be there. According to Joe, we'll see.
I really like it when you signed Big Mike Hoopty's barn banner, and I didn't realize that Mike was that strong. He picked you right up.
Yeah.
You guys think you're fucking funny, don't you? At least you could have picked a John Cope from his 30s.
Well, who in the YouTube community is going to recognize that, John?
Well, don't you ever notice when I do my videos, it's from the fucking chest up?
We've been expecting
Oh,
you.
jeez. That was Lars.
Yeah. Well, you know, you
Yeah,
gotta,
there's one for you, Lars.
I'll give that about 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. There'll be posters of that fucking shit all over fucking. Now I know I can't go.
And by the way, I
can't take the embarrassment.
did save your gigantic Coroplast captured poster for you. So whenever I see you next, I'm going to give you that.
No?
You might want that for your shop wall. It's pretty cool.
Roll
actually.
your old bones out of that fucking country you live in or that state you live in and come north. You know what? You came here twice, right?
2 or 3 times.
Twice.
I know I came up 3 times because I was there after. I was there after the Indy swap once. I was there once for that trans break, and I was there with Dawn's transmission. That's 3 times right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, each time was in the winter.
Oh, I think 6th Street Garage has a wonderful idea. Can you highlight his most recent comment at 11:17 there? Yeah.
I think Dougie can outdo me.
That'd be good.
What I do?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Dougie's might think a pretty good thumbnail too there.
Oh, that's cheating. And I thought Lars was my friend. I scored him a free T-shirt and all.
Don't forget, I put him up to it.
I know. Paybacks are a bitch. What are you doing, Dougie?
Getting a cushion for my chair.
You're going to wear the shit out of that shirt, ain't you, brother?
Oh, fuck yeah, bud.
I haven't confirmed this yet with Tony. However, I want him to remake the Coronet CRT t-shirt.
Cool.
but with his little twist. So it's got to kind of look the same, but be a little bit more maybe updated or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is UP's envelope stuffed with dirty cash with glitter on it?
Oh God. I think that would be cool to have that.
Does his envelope come with Motley Crue?
Yeah, right. It's getting late.
I think the Coronet action pick needs to be one of them. One of them with it wheeling.
Of course.
The one on the T-shirt is
Okay.
but it's more of a cartoon looking picture. I want the lettering where it's CRT at the top, co-bracing the bottom, and the core in the middle. But let Tony put his spin.
Got what you're saying. Yeah.
His accent on it, or his artistic whatever.
Hey, if this lasts a few rounds through the washing machine, I looked at the tag a little bit ago. It's Big Guy brand.
Okay.
And if this is good, I'm going to order a bunch more shirts through Tony.
Yeah, well, you better sit down when you see the fucking price, dude.
Oh yeah, I bet you they were $45.
I think with the shipping and everything, that was a $60 fucking T-shirt.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. That's average price for hefty homie clothes.
Yeah.
Tony did these No Name Nashville sweatshirts. Portland Company. They're not cheap either, but they're nice. I mean, look, they got the little grommets, on the drawstring.
Yep.
It's a nice hoodie.
He does such good work.
Well, he know. I'm sure he deals with enough of it. He knows, guys want a good sweatshirt. They want this. They don't want this. They don't want this. They'll pay more and have this.
Yes, everything on my channel is copyrighted, but I am not monetized.
Yeah.
So they don't give a shit.
People make way too big a deal out of that. Like, I would much rather use the music I want and forego the 14 cents.
Right.
I mean,
not everybody, but a couple people like, oh, you need to monetize. Even your uncle gave me that advice.
Of course he did, because that's what he's in it for.
I says, I do it because I enjoy it. It's fun.
Imagine that.
I do it because I like to edit. I like to, put my quirky. You should see the video I worked on today. I'll spill it because this is a very small crowd. But when I was working today, I was sending Wilburn pictures of what I was doing, and he was sending me pictures of what he was doing. And so I was either removing the transfer case or taking the oil out of the transfer case in that Ford. And Wilburn goes, uh-oh, he's bailing on us. Look at that. He bailed.
Right.
Okay. He goes, what kind of transfer case is that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't give a shit. It's in my way of the transmission. Yeah. I'm just going to get it out. So when I did get it out, I'm like, okay, I'm going to fuck with Wilburn on this one, right? So I get the camera and I'm spinning the fucking transfer case around on the Transjack. And I go, okay, Wilburn wants to know what kind of transfer case this is. And I'm spinning it and I'm looking for a name. And I found the production date. And then I found the name and I said what name it was, okay? Then I spin it around. I go, and I focused on the input shaft. I go, gee, I wonder how many splines are on this input shaft. And then I spin it around. I wonder how many bolts are holding this thing together. So I kind of was.
I'll find out.
I didn't count them.
Well,
I was just making fun of it.
I'm going to find out and tell you so that it pushes something useful out of your head.
Yeah. And he go, it's like the bolt and Sprague. Well, how many teeth are on the outside? I go, in my whole entire life, I never even think to count that.
Dr. Go wants to know what kind of software to use for editing. Just get Filmora. Wondershare Filmora.
I use Movie Studio 17 in Vegas. And I don't do it on my phone. I do it on my computer.
There you go.
So I can't, when I'm on my phone, I can't have 10 screens open at once, but on my computer at the shop, I can. Plus, when I'm at the shop, I'm always editing by myself. I'm there all by myself, and no one's bothering me. So I guess I get into editing mode, I guess you'd say.
I have to edit at night when Jethro's asleep.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You don't like when you're on your phone?
No.
For real?
If I was doing this about 6 or 7 o'clock or earlier, he'd be in here complaining. He's in there asleep now.
Dougie's the same way, but with Mrs. Dougster. He can only go on his phone when she's sleeping.
That's
You
not
want to see a video about the 6 HP70. How many pan bolts are in that? How many valve body bolts are in that? We should find out. The only thing I know about that tranny that it's got 8 forward gears. I don't know shit about it. Not a damn thing, so I couldn't help you on that.
6th Street Garage wants to know if that's the cult. What cult are we talking about here?
Yes, it is.
What's the question?
I can sum it all up. He wants to know, is the intro music to your new videos lately the cult? Yes, it is the cult.
It is. Yeah.
I think it's fire.
I thought he was talking about what people call the cult that some of us have been kicked out of.
Oh,
Cool boss.
What number are you, John? Number 1?
Where am I?
Or number 2?
I'm right there in front of the front tire.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Blondie's behind me.
That's a Mopar school bus too. How cool is that? 70.
Blondie. Dougie shit-faced.
Well, I figured that much.
She goes, I figured that much. There is no getting on the good side of Blondie.
I'm used to it. Lady Dougster.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I never get on her good side. Well, boys, it's past my bedtime and I gotta go potty.
Thanks for sharing.
Well, do your thing. We'll hold down the fort. No. Good night.
It's way past my bedtime. But I was bored. And that's when I tried calling you the first time or texting you, John. I was in the Jimmy John's parking lot waiting for Elaine to come out with dinner. And then she got in the truck. By the time you answer, I'm like, well, I'm going down the road now. I can't text. So, okay, does anybody got any transmission questions for Dougie before he says goodbye?
Yes. I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
I didn't get your shift kit out yet, Dougie. I was effing bombarded this week.
I get that. It's
I
okay.
was bombarded.
It's okay.
I ain't gonna stiff you, bro.
I'm actually looking forward to pulling down my valve body and installing all that in it.
You gonna do that by yourself?
I'm going to attempt it. Yeah.
All right.
I might have an ace in a hole, and maybe we'll do a live with you or something.
I'll tell you what I'm trying to get him to do, and I doubt he'll do it. It's like pushing a string. His old Mean Street Mopar. He's got a truck with a 904 flaring in high gear. I said, dude, take that thing out on a live. We'll tear it down on the tailgate. Get your little parts list made up to order from Cope. Get all your stuff in, and then do a live reassembly of all of it on the tailgate of your truck. That will get him all the subs he needs for the No Name 500. It would fix his truck.
Is that the truck he's going to race at No Name too?
I don't know. This is his 3rd year in the No Name 500. And he's at 310 subs. So I don't know. We'll see.
Damn, you can at least get one a week and be 500.
This is his third year in the No Name 500.
Yeah, Dougie's going to answer all my tech questions.
To the best of my ability.
Here's one for you.
Okay.
What does 727 mean?
Aircraft.
I have no idea. I tried finding it out. What does 904 mean? Where did Chrysler get these numbers? I could never find anything on.
Well, look at all the stuff that begins with the letter A for whatever reason in the Chrysler realm.
Why would they give the smaller transmission a bigger number? It just doesn't make no sense.
Right.
At least GM, their transmission sizes, and Ford, the bigger the number, the bigger the trans.
They made the numbers ascending in order of how cool they are. That's why you have 904 greater than 727.
Oh, lower is better? Okay.
And that's why 998 is really good and 999 is the king of the hill, because it is.
Is that how that goes?
That's exactly how it goes.
There's another thing. Where do you get 998, 999 from 904? These numbers have to mean something.
Now, those two do make sense because a 998 is like the 4-clutch, high gear versus the 5-clutch high gear. So those do kind of have a duty rating correlation. But
the transmission they got 545 RFE.
Well, but that's a different series. It's a whole different thing.
That's easy to figure out.
Yeah. Those are
5 speed. 45 is the series. RFE is fully electronic.
Right. Just like 48 RE and all that.
R is rear-wheel drive.
Rear-wheel drive, right.
E is fully electronic.
Yep, I learned that when I took a 41 TE out and put it in a dumpster one time. So yeah, I get that one. The old series is the one I have no clue.
Here, this one's for Wilburn. I'll let him answer.
Red.
It's all you, John.
Red. Just put red in there. He'll tell you red, but type F. I'll tell you red, but Dextron. How about that?
Yeah. If it's red, it'll work. That's my answer. I would love anybody to answer my phones for me so I won't have to do it.
I'll do it.
You know why? I can't say the word EF. But, and you know what? If all I did was sit at my desk and bullshit with these guys all day long,
be great.
It'd be awesome. But I am an employee of the business too.
Right.
They tell you what they got. They tell you when they bought it. They tell you who they bought it from. They tell you what they paid for it, how long they've been doing it, what are the last 25 mods they did to the car. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I love talking Mopar, but when the UPS truck's going to be here at 3:30, and I still am not done with the next 2 valve bodies or whatever the fuck I'm doing, it is very hard. And I know if especially if you look at my last 2 Google reviews. Did I tell you about that one?
Closed. That's how much I care.
Yeah, I know Dougie and Jeff seen that. Did you hear about my Google reviews? Go look at it. You'll see it.
I don't. Dr. Go, by the way, just so you'll know, do realize the thing about fluid, back when people were so ridiculous about fluid friction coefficient, was also when people didn't have good valve bodies with higher pressure. So that's the reason for that, really.
Back in my day, it was Dextron 2 and Type F. There was 2 fluids, and that was it.
Right. But do realize, too, those were not nearly as good of valve bodies, really, or as good of friction materials and all of that. The evolution of everything else is the reason why the fluid is not.
I would definitely say the clutches and shit. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt.
Oh, and valve body pressure, too. A lot of people don't realize the importance of having more pressure in the valve body.
I know that E4OD valve body is a bad mofo. Oh, man.
Good job.
That thing shift nice.
Jeffro just came in here and gave me the evil eye. He stole one of my hot chocolate cups and ran back in there. That's his way of telling me it's time to come.
All
to
right.
bed.
Well, I'm going to throw this place in the can. Mr. Wilburn and Mr. Dugster, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out.
No problem. It was a good night.
It was something to do on a Saturday night. So
Pleasure hanging out with you two gentlemen. Have a good
thank
evening.
you, gentlemen. Have a good night, and we'll see you
Yeah.
all later.
Bye.